The Pat McAfee Show.
There'll be no rules for our guests, for us, for the things we can talk about.
Yes, speaking his mind.
I've never had a problem expressing my opinions or my thoughts or anything like that.
While being relatable.
I haven't had that manufactured fake-ass celebrity that a lot of people have whenever they go on those big networks. I've had a chance to really build my crew, build my following, build my audience.
And ridiculous.
What am I supposed to do? So I'm supposed to look at something that I can definitely afford and say, nah. Is that what I'm supposed to do?
The Pat McAfee Show starts in 3, 2, 1.
Good afternoon, beautiful people. It is Super Bowl Tuesday, February 2nd, 2021 years after zero. We got a big show today. Shout out to Twine for that beat drop. Shout out to Shop 412, Pittsburgh Clothing Store Company. The founders went to our high school. Shout out Plum, where the ballers ball and the players play. And other things happen that aren't great. But they have this great long sleeve black shirts, by the way. Impossible to find. This one feels incredible. I appreciate them. Shout out to you for sending me the care package here to the office. Played soccer with one of them growing up.
Oh, yeah? Really?
Yeah, now they're fashion designers, entrepreneurs.
Were they good?
Yeah, he's pretty good.
Oh.
He's pretty good.
Nice.
He was a year older than me. I played up on the team.
Naturally.
They were a very good team.
They strikers?
Blasters was the name.
Really? Oh.
I believe
Plum Blasters.
What was your team name? Your team was really good.
Plum Power.
Plum Power. Yeah, I went Blasters, year older than me. Cobra was my year.
Whoa.
Okay. Then Plum Power was the year below me. Plum Power, dominant.
Really?
Plum Cobra, my year. Not the best. Blasters, also very good. Started to play up a year, obviously, with them. Should have potentially played Don, actually. I think. But, yeah, I was just a young buck out there getting bullied by those kids, but scored a bunch of goals so everybody can eat shit. But this one, great company. I appreciate you guys for this. Let's get into Super Bowl Tuesday, shall we? We have big guests today. Terrell Davis, Mile High Salute. Ever heard of him? He'll be joining us in about 21 minutes or so. He has a company, Defy CBD energy drinks, I believe is what they were originally. But if I'm reading my thing right, I don't want to make an announcement for him. I believe they have some alkaline, awesome water dropping maybe this week. Yeah.
Let's go.
I cannot wait to chat with Terrell. He always gives us an incredible conversation. I'm excited to hear his thoughts on everything happening in the NFL world, including the quarterback controversies happening, where who's going where and everything like that. I have more sources with the Matthew Stafford situation.
Really?
Oh.
I've talked to somebody who was in Cabo at the same time as everybody.
Really?
Said that it was an interesting situation looking from afar, but closer than everybody else. I guess there was a lot of conversations. Whenever you see the Panthers, the Washington football team, the Colts involved, everybody, and obviously everybody else being involved, the Rams involved, I assume that was a pretty entertaining thing. And you got McVay and Stafford and Cabo. I assume there's other people off in different areas of the world, and they're all doing this either via Zoom or FaceTimes or calls like that. I've heard it was awesome down there watching all that. Who's going to win? It was like a horse race almost. Ian Rappaport actually called it yesterday a derby.
Yeah.
I mean, it was just like that. That is something I wish we could have potentially had cameras on to kind of see who's going where. Because that's one exit of one Zoom call right into another Zoom call. There's a lobby potentially. It's like, all right, now we're going to jump into the Los Angeles Rams lobby. Okay, what are you thinking? You're thinking that? Okay, we will mute here and turn off camera. We will FaceTime now. How do we feel? This is kind of bullshit. Yeah, let's tell them we're going back. Hey, we're going back to the Colts. All right, we're going to go over here to the Colts. Excuse me. We're going to exit this Zoom call, go to the Colts Zoom call. What do you offer? Ooh.
Wow.
Ooh. Oh, hold on one second. Let's mute that. Let's go ahead and turn camera off. FaceTime again. Me, McVay, and Les. How do we feel about this? This is pretty good, huh? Yeah, not good enough. Let's go back to the fucking Rams. We think we got. I'm sorry, the Lions are like not good enough. Let's go back to the fucking Rams. Think we can get them. Boom. Leave that Zoom call. Hey, this is what the Colts just offered. This is what the Panthers just offered. What do you got? Fuck it. Take Goff, 2 firsts and a third. Bingo. You got Matt Stafford. Congratulations.
Is this tampering at all?
What's that?
Is this tampering at all, being a Cabo together?
No, because I think it was very publicly known that he was available, right?
Okay.
So I think it was very known he was publicly available. But it is interesting that the head coach and the quarterback did end up in the same city in Mexico. I wonder if they're at the same resort. I'm not sure of that. I don't think anybody knows that. I asked Ian Rappaport yesterday, kind of like in a slide question, like, hey, down in Cabo, are they doing? He didn't really tell us whether or not they're at the same resort. Intrigued by it all, but the Rams got their quarterback. Now what's up? Now where's Deshaun Watson going to end up? Is he going to be a Texan? We don't want to trade the player. Is he going to go to the Carolina Panthers potentially, who are not sold on Teddy Bridgewater and did make a play for Matthew Stafford? Maybe he goes in the division to the Colts. Wow, that'd be wild.
Wow.
We'll talk to TD about all that and everything else happening in the NFL world. Nate Burleson, Nickelodeon Nate, will be joining us. Host of Good Morning Football. Obviously, every single morning you see him with great hats on.
Oh, yeah.
And incredible analysis. He was also the color commentator for the Nickelodeon game that we all watched and enjoyed, obviously. He's also a rapper. I believe he's an actor as well.
New Balance.
He'll be, what's that?
That's his rapper name, New Balance.
Really?
Yes, yeah.
NB.
NB, baby.
Nate Burleson, New Balance.
Hell yeah.
It's a new wave.
Hell yeah.
What he has to say. And Nate Burleson doesn't have to cuss to sell records, by the way.
No.
Yeah, it's like that.
Skillful.
That's why he's on Nickelodeon, crushing it. Can't wait to chat with him about, everything going on in the NFL. The Nickelodeon game, was he told that maybe we'd get an adult game? You know what I mean? Got the kids game, maybe because they killed it. So I'm like, give a big thanks. Like, hey, since you guys killed it as a Nickelodeon game, maybe that opens up some other opportunities for other styles of games to be commentated. Maybe NFL Films, the 33rd NFL owner, would be like, you know what? This worked out well. Why don't we go ahead and give this a try? Let's go ahead and do that. And I would hope to be a part of that broadcast if that ever happens.
Yeah,
That'd
absolutely.
be fantastic. Can't wait to talk to Nate. Nate's always a good conversation. And we'll have, at the end of the Sirius show, and this is the only time we can book it, but it will carry over into youtube.com/The Pat McAfee Show alongside AJ Hawk and I and the boys, Ryan Fitzmagic.
Come on.
Seems like you guys are much more excited for one of them. What's that all about?
No, I love the other two. It's just,
No, did not hear
The ones that are always post serious, always, they get on a tangent. They're real fun. You never know what's going to happen.
There will not be a tangent, I do not believe, because we do have hard outs with all of these guests. Welcome to Super Bowl week. Okay? Super Bowl week, people got shit to sell. You see it everywhere. You won't see it as much now because in-person Radio Row has been killed, but you're seeing it everywhere. Guys just have a product right behind them that they've potentially never used before, but hey, you do an interview, You plug our stuff. We all kind of win here. Let's go ahead and make this thing happen. That's what Super Bowl is. That is literally what the Super Bowl is. We're getting a chance to talk to, a lot of people this week. We're excited about it. They will all be selling something, though.
Yeah.
The thing I do love about TD is he owns the company that he's selling.
That's right.
So I like that move a lot. Nate, Crown Royal, got to do what you got to do. Listen, you might enjoy Crown Royal.
Love booze, Crown Royal.
Hey,
good.
Booze
So shout
heads
out.
in the office.
Good bags.
Booze bags do love Crown Royal.
Yeah, it's delicious.
And then Fitzmagic, what he's selling is, it's main event bowling.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah, bowling company.
That's a strike.
Main events that is a strike.
It's like an adult.
That's a turkey.
It's like an adult Chuck E. Cheese.
What's that, pal?
It's like an adult Chuck E. Cheese.
Dave and Buster's.
They got video games and stuff.
Yeah, they got video games. They got laser tag.
It's
They got
nationwide.
arcade, and they got a bar.
People still got laser tag, by the way?
Laser tag's awesome.
Listen, I don't play video games, but I do believe what you guys call a person that just parks it.
Campers.
Camps it.
Yeah.
That was me in laser tag, by the way.
Really?
I'm going in there.
Strong
and
corner.
I'm going in there and I'm scoping out. We had one in Pittsburgh that was relatively dope, like a full-on thing. But there was a couple little spots if you found up in the second floor,
Crow's Nest.
where you could just kind of sit up there and just win MVP of everyone. Basically, I'm gonna protect this over here area, and you just start sniping people. Then you get killed inevitably, and you got to run all the way back down, and then hope nobody took it. But I was what you call a camper in there. Main event has that's not what we're selling, by the way. We're selling bowling.
Okay.
Because Super Bowling. That's what we're selling.
Sure.
We're selling Super Bowling. Okay, not the Super Bowl. We're talking about Super Bowling.
Okay.
Got to do what you got to do. By the way, I never put my thumb in. Only put the fingers in. I would assume that. You know what I mean?
More rotation, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and then I go.
Put a little English on it.
Then I check the watch. By the way.
Yeah, of
Check
course.
the watch.
I got about 4 ticks over, and then roll that thing straight. Check the watch. How you doing? Strike. How you doing? Keep moving.
Do wonder how the bowling business is doing amidst the COVID situation.
Well, actually, there was a bowling alley back in Pittsburgh, back in Plum Borough, actually a staple of our community. It's very close to our high school. It's literally right down the hill from our high school. It's called Nesbitt's Lanes. And I have bowled there. I've hung out there, maybe played cards there, maybe.
Wink, wink.
Parked in their parking lot. Whenever I didn't have a parking spot at the high school, it was like a lifesaver.
Oh, okay.
Whenever you're driving around, there's no other spots that you could potentially steal. It used to go in there. So that place is, it's just, I guess the bowling lanes, Nesbitt's Lanes, which has always had a lot of people that used to go bowl through there. I do believe quarantine has hit it a little bit. There was an article, a GoFundMe up there.
Okay.
I donated to Nesbitt's Lanes because Nesbitt's Lanes has donated to my life. So it's something like that. It was another small business. I would assume, though, bowling is potentially running into a little bit of a tough spot at the time. Shout out to Nesbitt's Lanes. Can't wait to get back there and throw a couple turkeys.
Oh,
You know what I mean? A couple turkeys. Go over to a concession stand. Great food at bowling alleys.
Oh, yeah.
love bowling.
Quarter dogs.
I enjoy bowling too, by the way.
Well, the Oculus, that's another one that they should just take over.
Why aren't we bowling? It's like the Wii game had bowling,
yeah.
right?
Yeah,
Why
exactly.
aren't we bowling yet on there?
There are bowling games.
Really?
We are bowling. Okay.
Okay, perfect.
So they are bowling. Congratulations to Oculus doing that. Can't wait to talk to those guests. And also you, 1-888-MAD-DOG-6. We have new bumpers coming out of the break, by the way.
Yep.
We'd like those to be judged on Twitter. Use hashtag PMS bumpers. And tweet me and let me know what you think of a bumper. By the way, this is what a bumper is for those that don't know. Coming out of the break, whenever you hear like a re-intro, you hear this one a lot, right?
This is the Pat McAfee Show on Mad Dog.
No, you don't hear that one. This one is the one you hear a lot.
Yeah.
Do not talk about
Pat McAfee.
Do not talk about
Pat McAfee.
one fight at a time, fellas.
You hear that?
Pat McAfee Show.
That's right.
Okay, so you hear that one a lot.
Boom, boom.
And I jeez. I asked them, because we only have a couple of them. I asked Sirius to make a couple more. And they came back with a lot. So we're trying them out today. We'll see how they go. If you'd like to be a judge, a la America's Got Talent, American Idol, X Factor, The Voice, any of the other ones, use hashtag PMS bumpers. Best review and suggestion, probably win some merch. If I had to guess.
Wow.
Okay.
Here we go.
Yeah. By the way, just a little tease.
It's the show recommended by 0 out of 5 old white guys.
I mean, they did it. Wow. I am pretty pumped up about what Sirius did. Very thankful for that. The boys are here at Tone Diggs. What are we gambling on? Hey, what are we gambling on this weekend? How you feeling? Heads or tails? I'm thinking I'm going to make like a $25,000, $30,000 bet on the coin toss because we will still be live on Sunday while the coin toss happens. And I think that's something that we should potentially get a natural reaction, or maybe like a bonus for, all of you guys. Like if the winnings will become one of the bonuses, So we all have something.
Yeah.
So we all have something on
Skin in the game.
Skin in the game.
the flip of a goddamn coin, which is, by the way, available at FanDuel. You can gamble on, I think there's 7,000 different bets on the Super
Yes.
Bowl.
Yeah.
You will enjoy them all, and we will make money off of all of them. At Tone Diggs, what are you looking ahead to as basically a lock for the weekend?
Normally, my favorite bet is the over/under of the national anthem.
Oh, yeah. Have we done research?
I get to do a lot of research. It's tough this year. It's very, very tough because it's a duet. So I'm slowly studying tape on both of them, Eric Church and Jasmine Sullivan. But it's hard. The one that I believe is a lock that you told us about years ago is the opening kickoff not to be a touchback because it's a terrible football.
Brand new football. Things plastic, basically. Just came out of the case. Can't kick it. Harrison Butker, by the way, though, he can kick it.
Big
My
boot.
body-
That dude's got a big ass leg. Now, the touchback for opening kickoff, because of the numbers and trends and everything that I've said, the odds for a touchback on a kick, pretty good. Harrison Butker is a guy I think that could potentially get that brick to move far enough. But the returner for Tampa Bay, Mickens' last game in the NFC Championship, had a massive game. I would assume there is some potential returns being drawn up, even if it's 4 or 5 yards deep. How you doing? Let's keep it moving.
So I was doing that, and then I was doing a little bit of research on the opening kickoff. Bruce Arians took the ball in week 16 and 17.
And Patrick Mahomes, I assume they defer.
Probably defer, so it's most likely going to
Butker
be the
kicking
Chiefs
off.
kicking off.
So not a bad bet to potentially
Go against the yes, or take it and say no. Yes, it will be a touchback. There it is.
Hell yeah. Yes. Let's go.
Touchback Tone.
It's that new cowboy hat.
The yes no's are always.
Yeah, well, I mean, there's two different ways to go there with yes and no there.
But the no, it was not a touchback, is on a 17-2 run.
Yes, it's very hard to do. Jeez. And I would assume those two, by the way, were potential like drop squib. I don't, unless somebody came that I have not, and just blast. It's very hard to do because the ball is literally, I mean, it is rock hard because as soon as that ball is returned, that ball is given to somebody, that ball is immediately put into a box, and that ball is sent to the Hall of Fame in Canton immediately. Like, hey, here you go. This ball's going. They want that thing to look as good as possible as the game that ball was kicked off. What's up, Diggs?
Currently, right now, if you think it's going to be a touchback, it's minus 310. No is plus 230.
Juicy.
So they know Butker's getting the ball. Now they're judging Butker. But yeah, no is the bet to go with there because
Correct.
17-2.
Yeah.
Well, that seems wrong, by the way. We need to take advantage of that.
Yeah.
Now. That might change.
Yeah,
That is
chandeliers,
plus
though.
230. It seems like that is something we should potentially talk about. Because in this particular field, I think I'm one of the only sharps.
Correct.
Because, I mean, I did kick off a Super Bowl. We lost that Super Bowl. But I kicked it off.
That's right.
If I don't kick that off, we don't lose the Super Bowl. Something to think about.
The value is on the no.
Yeah, we should definitely go there. At Boston Connor's here. Ty Schmidt is here. Zito is here as well. Massive news coming out of the internet world, by the way. NCAA,
Oh, yeah, that's right.
2K21, I guess, or 22.
Yep,
Finally.
22.
EA's coming back with it. Here we go. Okay, so there's been a firestorm on the internet for this game. I think it's grown louder here as of late because the people that played it are now in positions to kind of dictate decisions that are happening. Because this game, I was very lucky to be in this game, okay? And it did not necessarily paint me and depict me in the greatest image, but it was an honor to be inside the NCAA game. Now, granted, business-wise, and as I've gotten older, incredibly fucked up just to be doing that and profiting off of that. It seemed like everybody was making money, schools, coaches, everybody was making money except for the players, and which can happen in college football because they're getting a scholarship. So you can kind of say, like, okay, we are giving them something for their time and effort. But whenever the NCAA folks started making billions, of dollars, and it seemed like coaches were making money and other people were making money, and there was cover athletes and everything like that. That became obviously a big ordeal, and it wasn't because of the NCAA football game per se. It was actually Ed O'Bannon,
Yeah.
who was a basketball player.
Right. At UCLA.
He is the one that kind of led the charge in being like, hey, you can't just have these video games that are making massive amounts of profit for a lot of people, except for the players, while using the actual players. Now, you don't put the names on the back, but it's the jersey number. It is the player. It is that pudgy kicker wearing number 40 who's got a big leg, but you don't know where it's going in the game. That is me. I know it's me. And I don't think, by the way, at the time, I didn't think like, hey, pay me, because all my friends played the game. And whenever I was in the game, it was like a pretty cool thing. But then as you get older, you start looking back and you go, that's fucked up business-wise to be doing that, just like everybody's kind of doing college football now. But I believe the name, image, likeness law that was put into play, I believe, or is getting put into play. I'm not sure when it starts or how this whole thing is going to go. I do remember Anthony Gonzalez, former teammate of mine. He was one of the big pushers for it because he was at the Ohio State University. And I think this game coming back is obviously goes hand in hand with the name, image, and likeness thing happening, which I'm a fan of. I don't know how you're going to pay every single athlete that plays. You're not going to be able to do that. My answer has always been, you can't. If they can go sign autographs and make money, though, let them do it. And by the way, if that's a fake-ass autograph signing for 20 minutes and some company wants to pay Pat White to do that, after he's built this entire campus, basically, he should be allowed to do that. The NCAA and colleges and basketball like, no, we're not making money. Remember, this is not a profitable operation. I was like, well, you just built a $250 million building over there and a $300 million thing over here. So not profitable is an interesting way whenever you're kind of spending money out or whatever. But this name, image, likeness, I think it was a great first step. And now that EA Sports is going to come back and make this, I would assume they're going to have to pay the players. Yeah. I would assume the players are going to get a paycheck. This is what happens at the NFL level whenever you're talking about Madden. And the way that goes is Madden made a deal with, by the way, people are not happy about Madden.
No,
okay?
Still.
Fix the game.
Fix it.
NCAA coming out, by the way, might. Madden, hey, EA, I hope you know, and you do know, there's going to be a lot of expectations on this game and the quality of it, especially what's been going on with Madden and everything like that. But with Madden, they have a deal with the NFLPA. So the NFLPA at their end of yearly like meeting with teams, the NFLPA sends representatives and they go through things and they play this propaganda video at the beginning of it of how important the NFLPA is. And they talk about the NFL when it was a much different time, when guys were working in mills and whenever, there was rats potentially in the locker room and everything like that, and what the NFLPA has accomplished and all that. And I believe there has been some incredible things that the NFLPA has accomplished in its entire existence, but there's a lot of things I have a lot of questions about. Yeah. But you don't actually get to ask those questions in those meetings, because in those meetings they go, hey, we got your Madden checks also at the end of this meeting. You will get your Madden checks, which I think was $10,000. It might have went up a little bit, but everybody got the same exact amount of money. And they would always do it at those meetings whenever they would ask if anybody had any questions about how anything's going. Oh, by the way, got your Madden checks. Hey, do you have any questions about anything? Any decisions that were being made? Maybe your performance bonuses getting delayed, deferred 2 years down the road instead of right now because some people thought that was a good idea. You have any questions about anything of that? Maybe giving away your rights to sell T-shirts where you make 50 cents off a brand that you created. We are very lucky and thankful that we could give away those rights for you. If you have any questions about any, maybe a couple guys that work here getting paid a lot more money than a lot of the players that are in the league. If you have any questions about, basically telling the world that you're ready to go to war with the people you're about to negotiate with, instead of being like, hey, in negotiation you have to be partners, so maybe we shouldn't try to go to war with the NFL before we're going to negotiate with them. I know they are shrewd, incredibly shrewd business people who are going to try to fuck you over at every turn, but I don't think that's the proper way to go into negotiation, is by telling everybody you're ready to go to war, because I would assume that potentially sets a climate that could be a little bit toxic to negotiations, and then a lockout happens and then everything else happens. If you have any questions about that, cool, but we got your Madden checks right at the end of it. Okay. And that's how all those meetings happen. And then you walk out with $10,000 checks. Guys had probably a workout in the morning, special teams meeting, team meeting, breakfast, individual meeting, lunch, practice, individual meeting, then that meeting. Jeez. We got your checks. So it was always an interesting game that the NFLPA played. And the NFLPA has done a lot of good things, okay? I understand. I see the propaganda video every fucking year. I understand you guys did a lot or whatever. I have a lot more questions, I think, than there was answers or times to be had. So I stopped going. Okay. And then I just stopped going to the meetings because I was like, all right, I'm done with this. And I assume a lot has changed since then. But that sort of thing is probably what's going to happen with all these college teams. If there's 130 teams, by the way, okay, and you start doing some quick math, let's say it's starters and backups at every position. So that's 11 on offense, 11 on defense. That's 22. Then double that for the starters and backups. That's 44. Then you do times 130 and you get 6,000. Okay. Then you times 6,000 times, let's say it would be a $5,000 check for everybody that is on every single team as a starter and backup. That'd be $30 million. Back in the day, it was projected that these games made $80 million a year, let alone after having at least a 10-year off time. I would assume it's going to make a lot more than that this year. I wonder if they are just go ahead and putting that in as the charge. We're just going to account for this as being one of the basically fees now. This is one of the L in the P&L process of this entire thing, a loss. And just count that as 30 million. That feels like that's the way they're doing it. And by the way, I like if that's how it's working.
That's how they'd have to do it, right? Because there's absolutely no way that you can like fairly there's no way you can fairly give that money out amongst all those guys. Like, there's no way everyone's going to be happy. So if this is what I still don't think they're going to ultimately make this. I feel like they've been doing this a bunch the last couple years, but step in the right direction. I hope they do.
Nick just sent a text that said, for now, EA Sports. Nick, where'd you get this from?
Let's see. Specifically, I'll be honest, I don't know. There's a lot of stuff floating around there on Twitter. But for now, EA Sports is planning to move forward without rosters that include the names.
Yeah. Who was it, though? Do we know who it was? Is this legit, is what I'm saying?
It's legit.
Okay. EA Sports is planning to move forward without rosters that include the names, images, or likenesses. Okay, so they literally just said, no, we're not doing a name, image, likeness thing.
Wow.
Of real college players. Current NCAA rules prohibit athletes from selling their name, image, likeness rights while in college. However, those rules are likely to be changed at some point in the coming year, either by the NCAA, state legislatures, or Congress. It's not yet clear if the evolving rules will allow for the kind of group licensing arrangement that would be needed for EA Sports. That's what they're planning on. That's exactly.
So they're just going top 25 teams or something like that?
No, because they won't be able to do that either because you can't pay any of those players as well. Nope. So they are preparing. This is them preparing for this thing changing and them being able to get a group licensing. Yeah. Because if you can't play with the players that people think are in there, what are you even selling? Just the fact that Alabama has a bunch of random stooges running around. Exactly. That they're planning on the name, image, likeness thing being able to be had and being able to do something that we just laid out.
And Zito sent something interesting into the thread right now. The big thing that people are taking away from everything that's coming out about this press release, not one mention of the NCAA. Straight up college football. Yeah,
that'll be very interesting because the group licensing will not be with the NCAA, it'll be with the players, right? Because the NFL and the NFLPA are two different groups, right? Whenever negotiating. NFLPA does a lot of negotiating for players on things.
It's crazy.
I don't want to talk about it. I got tested 8 times a month for 27 months.
Good God.
Okay? In that substance abuse program. All right? I read the goddamn thing. It's supposed to lighten off if you don't make any mistakes. I never made any mistakes except for questioning the doctor who's in charge of the program, what his doctorship was. That was the only thing I did wrong. And that was at the very beginning of this whole thing. I did that. So I kind of got punished, I think, for 27 months or whatever. Yeah. I reached out to the NFLPA, by the way, and I was like, hey, is there any way you guys can help me with this whole thing? I got a text like 3 months later. You good?
You only got 2 months left now.
I'm not good. And I'm 3 minutes late for Terrell Davis right now. We have to get to a break. I'd assume that's what they're banking on, though.
Yeah. Has to be.
We can get him on. Is Terrell on?
I can get him on right now. You want to keep going? We're having a ball right now.
Yeah, let's call him right now. They have to be planning for that.
Yeah, because once that gets checked off, then it's kind of like, okay, now this is a much easier situation we can work.
Well, they're going to have to negotiate with the NCAA too, right?
Yeah.
Because if all these schools are part of the NCAA is going to have to give the okay for them to utilize.
How about these players step down so they're not going to play anymore?
Well, it'd be interesting if the players take a stand and say like 5,000 is enough, 6,000 is enough. Yeah. What are they going to do? This would be a massive press release for nothing really at the end of the day.
If they did want like say 10 grand, then we'll be talking about maybe just a Power 5 just the Power 5 teams in there, and then like, all right, screw Illinois State, sorry, Zeke, and all those type of schools, and let's just go with the guys that people want to play with.
Which, by the way, in my eyes, would be a smart business plan.
Yeah.
But what about whenever you want to go take a small team on a run?
Yeah, that's not college football.
What about the University of Cincinnati? You're going to leave them off of there?
Not everyone loves
now
the
you're
MAC.
the college football player.
How dare you, dude?
Not everybody wants to play with the Ohio Bobcats.
Wow.
Not
How dare
me.
you, dude?
Not me. Not now. Not ever.
Front running piece of shit.
All right.
Give me the Trojans.
Let's pivot away from the NCAA and video games, and let's talk about the men's league in a real-life legend.
Hell yeah.
Back in the day, I don't know if you knew this, but saluting's been something that's been going on for a long time. All right, as a show of respect. When the Mile High salute showed up in town, it was an immediate go-to as a touchdown celebration when you're playing either telephone pole to telephone pole or in the backyard and you just ran somebody over. The man who created that is also one of the founders of Defy, an incredible CBD drink company that is launching a water, I believe, this week,
Yes, please.
with high alkaline in it, okay? This is healthy-ass water from Defy. Ladies and gentlemen, Super Bowl champion, legend Hall of Famer Terrell Davis.
Pat, I could not have asked for a better intro than that one, man. I mean,
You deserved it.
the intro was spectacular, my friend.
Well, you deserved it. I see the two Lombardis sitting over each of your shoulders.
Yeah, I got to break these out every once in a while.
Last time was his bust.
What better week than this week to bring out my old friends to accompany me on my interview. So, yes, Mr. Lombardi 1, Mr. Lombardi 2. Actually, 32 and 33 are right behind me. So,
Yeah. Well, it's
They
very
wanted to
nice
join
to
the
see.
show today.
It's very nice to see 32 and 33. It's very nice to see you as well. Whenever you think back to those Super Bowls, what is your first thought? Is it just you were incredibly surprised by the fact that you were in the Super Bowl when you got there? Because as I got older in my NFL career, I made the Super Bowl my rookie year. We never made it back. And as I got older, I realized you have to get incredibly lucky health-wise. You have to have a couple good bounces go your way throughout the season that could potentially turn your season into a swing season the other way. I mean, it is not easy to get to the Super Bowl at all, let alone win it. You have to have a lot go in your favor. That's why Tom Brady is ridiculous with what he's been doing.
I was going to say, Tom would disagree with everything you just said. Because it seems to be really simple for him. But yeah, you know what? I think when I got to the NFL in '95, we went 8-8. But the end of that season, there was something different about that team. We started to get people on the squad who kind of understood sacrifice, understood teamwork, and they may not have been the most talented guys. Like we had Rod Smith that came in, and we released Anthony Miller, who was a Pro Bowl wide receiver, and I didn't understand why we did that, but it was clear that Rod was a perfect fit for our offense, and he worked hard. He was extremely good wide receiver. So anyway, over the years, man, our team was just, we had that it factor. My second year we went 13-3. We lost in the I believe the first round, which was the divisional round, to Jacksonville, and then we ended up winning 2 Super Bowls after that. So, Pat, maybe unlike you, I thought that I was going to win at least 5 or 6 Super Bowls because I had won 2 of my first 4 years, man. I was like, oh, shit, we about to win 4 or 5 of these things, And then all of a sudden, injuries set in. And like you said, you got to be lucky to have the ball bounce your way and to be able to survive, week to week in the NFL. And it's not promised to you, man. So, yeah, I did think I was going to win more than 2.
Well, you're a Super Bowl MVP, which I'm just now being – looking at my paper here, and I completely forgot about. That is a very small community of people. I mean, the Super Bowl MVP, that is very tiny. Do you have a photo of you getting the, where's the MVP at? Where's the MVP trophy at?
Oh, that one's, yeah, I have that one too. It's, it came in a chest, and it's still in a chest. It comes in this big old, one of those things you see where like musicians put their instruments in and they travel with it. It's in one of those things. It's in the garage right now.
Where do 32 and 33 normally hang out at? Garage?
They normally hang out right here in the office with me.
Smart. Yeah, I'd keep that nickname. By the way, a bunch of people that are like, I've been watching too many like house robbery shows. We just gave up way too much information there. You got to move that Super Bowl MVP out of there. You got to get that thing out of the garage.
As a matter of fact, yeah, they don't stay in the house. I got them somewhere.
Can we talk about Defy a little bit here? By the way, whenever you came on, I don't know if it was when you launched the company, but we learned about the company. We tried it. We enjoyed it a lot. It was an incredibly difficult category to get into, but your product was so damn good. We enjoyed it over here. Now you're getting into a packed category, but I believe the water game here is going to change the game a little bit for you guys, don't you think?
Yeah, we believe so. Now, so the water was really has come about because, obviously what's been happening during the pandemic and the social injustice stuff that we've seen in this country. Our company is Black owned, it's woman owned, and it's veteran owned. And we felt like we have to give back. We have to be able to put our money where our mouth is, if you will. And so we launched a water that's it's called a Hydrating Humanity. So it's a water with a purpose. And it's a 9.5 alkaline water.
Wow. Hey, that's up there.
Yeah. It's a performance water, man. So it's a performance water. So what we want to do is be able to get our water out there and be able to give some proceeds back to those communities that we come from. And so we've launched our campaign right now, and some of the proceeds will go back to those communities. And so right now we're pretty excited, man. We're going to be in Sprouts nationwide in April. So you can go to your local Sprouts store and get it in April. You can go to our website, drinkdefy.com, and buy it there. And actually by, I believe, March, we're going to be in over 1,000 doors throughout this country.
Let's go.
Yeah, and people are really getting behind it, man. We've gotten a tremendous amount of support from people with this campaign, and so we look forward to having more people join us in our cause and giving back to those communities that we support. So we're pretty excited about it, man.
Hey, congratulations. Getting into 1,000 stores is not easy. I watched Shark Tank. A lot of people struggle with that. All right, a lot of people struggle with that. Can we talk about the alkaline water, performance water? I was put on to this, I think, I think Vontae Davis was the first person I saw, or maybe Freeney, I forget exactly. But this water, and I think Jim Irsay, by the way, big high alkaline water guy. Big. But what is it? The higher the number, the better. And why is that? Is that because of pliability with the TB12? Is that what is the alkaline number, and why is the higher the better for you?
So you talking to the wrong person. We have a team of people who understand and the pH balance in your body. So Pat, you're not talking. He's talking to the wrong person. Yeah, my understanding is that is the case with the pH levels in your water. And I used to think that water was just water, man. I really did. When I grew up, I felt like I would never pay for water because it's just water. But I didn't know better. And so knowing more about water and how not only does it taste, but it makes your body feel better. It balances your pH levels in your body, which is very important. And so, it's one of the best out there. Again, we're putting our support behind not only the water, but the communities that's out there. And it's important to be able to have, water that's good for you, not just something that you get out of the tap.
Awesome. We can't wait to try Defy Water. Sprouts stores. I don't know what that is, but I'm excited to see. Is that a grocery store?
Sprouts. You don't have Sprouts where you are?
No. Come on.
What?
Yeah, listen.
Sprouts is mainly a West. It's like a it's like a Whole Foods.
Oh, okay. We know what that is.
Yeah,
Sprouts.
but I believe they're mainly on the West Coast, and that's probably why you don't see them.
Yeah, I'm over here. I do the.
We got some over there. We have some up your way as well. We're getting into. I don't want to mention all these stores because let me make sure.
Yeah, and also free advertising. Don't worry about it. We will keep
the website.
Drinkdefy.com.
Drinkdefy.com. You'll see on there we have locations where the water would be available. We've got some deals going now with some national distributors, and
you in there negotiating?
We're going to be launching. So here's the other cool thing too.
Okay.
We're going to be partnering up, and I'm going to mention this because we haven't formalized a deal though. We're going to be partnering with DeMarcus Ware's.
Oh, yeah, his workout app.
Yeah, his workout app. So we're going to be doing a partnership with DeMarcus Ware's workout app. You probably already had him on your show. If you haven't, it's awesome. They have this augmented reality stuff that's pretty cool.
Oh, yeah, we know.
And so we'll be providing that. So if you want to get in shape, go download the app. D2W Driven to Win app. DeMarcus Ware is cool as hell. I'm using that app right now. It's the bomb. It really is, man. So we're gonna formalize a partnership. Hopefully, sometime. I'm thinking March or April, and then
perfect.
You got to see all that good stuff.
All right. Well, congrats on all that. Let's. I can't wait to try the water. Let's talk about a couple things that are happening in the world.
Here's the bottle, by the way. Here's a bottle, so you know what it looks like.
Yeah.
There you go. See, you know when you go to the store, just go ahead and see this thing right here.
Woo! Plus 9.5 right there on the side.
I'm going to hydrate, by the way. Everybody has to hydrate. Pat, you got to hydrate. You know, no matter what you're doing, you have to hydrate.
Yeah, you're right. Hey, I ain't never heard something more true than that, right? I mean,
it's hydrated up.
There you go. And the water, by the way, if they didn't know, is non-CBD. Just so we understand, non-CBD.
Okay. So this is not the Fi water, but you got to stay hydrated, TD.
Yeah, you can have that for right now. We'll send you some water.
Would you be nervous to play in front of 25,000 people and 30,000 cutouts? Would that make you? That was announced as the attendance for the Super Bowl this weekend. Just for the attendance, there'll be 25,000 humans, 30,000 cardboard cutouts. Ooh. It's like, well, that's not attendance, okay? I understand what you're saying right now, but how do you feel about how the NFL has gone through this season? There's none of us. I mean, you're an NFL legend, obviously Hall of Famer. None of us thought that the NFL would be able to pull this off, what they've been able to pull off. This has been insane to think about in the time that we're in. I'm surprised that we're here, but I'm incredibly pumped to be here. This has been a massive celebration this week for us.
Yeah, absolutely. Listen, it's the only league, I believe, that had no cancellations of their games. And so that's impressive to go all the way back to, was it September? And now we're here in January and not actually February and not have any cancellations of the game. So the NFL has done a really good job of trying to keep things on schedule with their protocols and how they went about it. And listen, this game, I'm going to tell you, Pat, people talk about playing a game in the parking lot. People say, listen, we'll play this game no matter where you have this game, we're going to play it. And now they get to play in a stadium full of 20,000 fans and 30,000 cutouts. I don't think it's going to matter. I think the energy and the feeling of stepping onto that field and knowing what's at stake is still going to be as big as it would if the stadium was packed with fans.
I was very surprised by the fans at the Super Bowl my rookie year whenever we played there. Obviously, Saints fans are very loud and they travel and everything like that. Colts had a great fan base that traveled. But there's a lot of people that are just at the Super Bowl because they're at the Super Bowl. It's a lot of suits that are potentially at the Super Bowl. You'll have like batches of people that would go crazy, but then there was a lot of people that were just at the Super Bowl. So I thought the Super Bowl crowd was interesting to begin with. Now that they're actually announcing how many cardboard cutouts will be there. Can't wait to see how that whole thing goes. Connor, what do you got?
Yeah, Terrell, you won back-to-back Super Bowls now. Mahomes and the Chiefs are trying to do the same. Is there a different mindset or even expectation when you're going into that second one?
I remember it being kind of the same thing, man. Like it's how you prepare, really. It is about how you prepare, and it's trying to bring your best game that day. It's not a 3-game series. You're not playing a 5-game series. It's one game. And so you can lose that one game and be out the tournament. So it was always, each week was trying to win that, try to be the best we can be on that particular day. I think the second one, it was a little bit more pressure in terms of we were favorite to win that game. And anytime you're favorite to win a game, I'm always grasping, and we're always grasping for some type of motivation. When you hear all week how good you are and how you're going to blow out the Falcons and all this stuff, that didn't help us in our cause. The year before, we were 13-point underdogs. So all week long, we heard how we weren't going to beat the Packers. And so that gave us a little bit more, okay, we're going to show people. So it was different in that approach, but our approach was never any different when we, as we took the field and who we played, we were going to try to bring our A game.
How come, rest in peace, by the way, incredible person, Pat, how come there was never this one's for Terrell?
Hey, when he said that about Elway, I was right behind him saying, and TD. This was for John and me. No, John needed that. We really wanted to send him out on top. You know, John had meant so much to that organization, so much to our team, man. He was our captain. He was our leader, man. So to be able to see number 7 finally walk away with not one but 2 was really sweet. The first one was the best one, but then the icing on the cake was after Super Bowl 33.
Is this one the first one or the second one?
That is the first one right there.
Which one?
That's 32. Yeah, that's Super Bowl 32.
Oh, so this one's 33 here. Let me touch it.
33 is over there.
Imagine if this show was good enough. I don't know if you see the split screen. If I would have just went like this and then grabbed my own. Oh, man. That would have been so awesome. Ty, what do you have?
Hey, that would have been dope.
I know.
Hey, let me ask you a question, though, Pat. Hey, Pat, let me ask you a question. Because everybody, I try to explain to people about kind of that sensation of playing in the Super Bowl. And, people talk about how, like, the just everything, the fanfare, how it's so big and you can get nervous and all that stuff. I remember I had this idea when I was Super Bowl 32 before the game. Like, I always think that in my mind, a game is a game. And I was telling myself that the whole week, man, this is just another game, same field. They have 11 guys on defense, no different than a regular game. And right before we go out to do our pregame warm-ups, we go out on the football field, and, man, it hit me. It hit me like this is not just a normal game. Yeah, and so people say, man, like, how did you try to overcome that? And I say, man, the thing that I can relate it to is if you're on a high wire and you're up there and you're trying to go across this building and they tell you to do what? Don't do what? Don't look down. So I think I looked down and I realized the gravity of this game right before we played it. And I remember my heart started pumping, man. I started getting nervous. And I was like, wow, this game was huge.
So I did same exact mindset as you, by the way. Every game is just me and the ball anyways, all right? It's just me and the ball. How you doing? You got to go a long way wherever I want you to go. It wasn't until I literally took my steps back on the opening kickoff where I got to, like, my back spot. I, like, looked around and I was like, holy shit, I'm about to kick off the Super Bowl right now. Like, this is a big deal. And then as I'm running to the ball, obviously all you start seeing is all the flashes. And I was like, this is insane. And then obviously I don't whiff, thankfully. And it wasn't the worst kickoff of all time. It wasn't the best kickoff of all time. Doesn't matter then. All right, it's in the middle there. And I jogged off to the sideline, and we had Stover as a kicker then, right? Vinatieri was on the sideline. Yeah. And I went over to Vinatieri. He was just dressed in street clothes or whatever. And I was like, I cannot believe you've been in like 10 of these. This is insane here. It's a cool thing. And thank you so much for spending a little bit of your time this week with us. We hope the Defy Water takes over the game.
Hey, appreciate it. Anytime, Pat. You guys take it easy, man. Who you got in the game, by the way? Who you got? Who's your pick?
Okay. Well, it ain't about the game, really. I'm betting like $30,000 on heads or tails. So what do you think?
I can't touch betting, man.
No, what do you think, heads or tails?
Heads or tails in this. I'm going, they always say tails never fail, so I'm going to go tails.
Okay, funny you say that because we've done some research. Yeah. Allegedly, the head side is a little bit heavier on this particular coin. Ooh. So there's a chance that it's potential. So I think you're on the right side. I'm going to do it because you said it. All right, ladies and gentlemen, Terrell Davis. $30,000. $30,000 potentially out of my pocket, TD. Appreciate that. We got to get to a break. He's awesome.
Yeah, good guy.
That alkaline water, it does something with it's a part of the whole thing.
Bounces your pH.
Yeah. Well, and then there's the pliability factor. Of course. There's a lot in there.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, you put those 2 water bottles down clean during that.
Yeah. By the way, I didn't know if I still had it because I had already drank a green tea this morning as well. So, I mean, I am...
A lot of liquid. Turns out.
Oh.
You got one more?
Still got it.
Still got space. This could put me over the top, though.
Get rid of it.
3, 2.
Wow. Wow. I just flipped it upside down. Yeah. I used to do that with beers, obviously, and then people started like squeezing the beers out of their mouth. Mm-hmm. That's insane. That is when the next generation of chuggers took it up a notch, and I could not go to. All right, I'm not inhaling a bunch of foam that you guys are doing there because I will puke, actually. Yeah. Like, I'm going to go piss, actually. 48 minutes an hour, one. We have to get to our first break. On the other side, we'll answer callers for like a minute and a half, and then we have to go to a hard out. And then we'll be back in the second hour with Nate Burleson. Yeah! Big shout out to TD. This is the Pat McAfee Show, Tuesday, February 2nd.
Lakers, welcome to the Blender, the home of a team and a fan base on a playoff push the likes the world has never seen before. Crescent City, get on your feet for tonight's starting lineups, brought to you by Sprite, an incredibly refreshing drink. Starting at forward was the number 2 overall pick in the 2016 NBA draft. Now he's an NBA All-Star, Brandon Ingram. At forward, this man has been dunking on little white kids on the internet for 10 years. The incomparable, unstoppable, 6'6" phenom, Zion Williamson. At center, standing at 8 feet tall, from Georgia Tech, number 22, Derek Favors. This man's family had a reality show in Lithuania. He was born and raised in LA, but he found his J in the N-O. Lonzo Ball. And the OG of the roster. On the court, he's a monster. Braids hanging, shots banging. It's not Drew, it's Drew Holiday. Let's get this done. Thank you very much. Go Pelicans. Tired of me right now. That's how you play basketball. Will be a 5-bowler from the Red Panda. Up we go. Yes! 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 Red Panda! What a legendary moment. You're a legend. It's an honor. Mission accomplished, right? Come down, intro some players, throw some balls to Red Panda, fly back to Indianapolis.
Giving the old white guys something to complain about. It's the Pat McAfee Show.
Oh, wow. How do we like that? I like that one.
It's good.
I don't know who recorded it. I don't know who wrote the script. But I like it.
Oh, yeah.
Go ahead and judge that, bumpers. Hashtag PMS bumper. You might win some merch.
It's bumping right now, by the way.
We'd like. This is lovely.
Yeah, I was talking about the hashtag, but yeah, this too. That's good. Actually, I have a back itch. I'm just pretending.
Hey, good shoulder rolls out of you there.
Yeah, I have good shoulders.
SportsCenter posted a a clip on their Instagram of a guy in the crowd who did this eyebrow roll whenever he was on the fan cam. It looked like your shoulders right there.
Nice.
It was pretty impressive. It was I've never seen it before. He rolled his eyebrows as if it was the
The Rock
Dude,
probably
worm.
did it.
Unibrow or?
yeah, it was like a worm on his eyebrows. No, 2 eyebrows, 2 separate eyebrows, one succinct wave.
That's a talent.
Skillful.
It was a talent. I was impressed. Let's get some phone calls here before we got to get out of here. Hey, it's chilly in here, huh?
It's very chilly today, yes.
It's only gonna get colder.
Yeah, there's an Arctic blast coming to town.
Come on.
I had a fucking icicle in the truck this morning.
Yeah?
Hanging off the bottom. I was like, are we at that point?
I believe for the Superb Owl show, the celebration show, it's going to be a high of like 5. So
If you're wondering. I will wear pants at some point, and I am getting older now at this point as well. I'm starting to feel the chill more than I used to. At Gumpy brought this thing down from Canada. I know it.
he did.
No, that's minus 12 where I come from, pal. That's cold.
In America?
Celsius?
Celsius, my friend.
That's what we do?
You're Fahrenheit.
Oh, you guys do that.
We be burning on.
So it's like 20 degrees where you guys are at?
So 32 Fahrenheit is 0 degrees Celsius.
So when it's 12, it'll be negative 12 Celsius.
You just said it was negative 12, right?
So it means it's 12 here.
So is it 20 degrees here? Is there a much more complicated
No, it's negative 12 on Sunday.
Yeah.
here?
Yeah.
What is that in Fahrenheit?
10.
What?
10 degrees Fahrenheit here would be negative 12 Celsius where Gumpy's from.
Even though
So
you're
what's the equation?
So they
All right, I know zero's freezing, zero's 32.
Yeah.
You can't just subtract or add 32. I guess that's not just how it works.
No.
Why are they
But
so
that's a good
confusing?
guesstimation.
Basically.
Why are you guys doing kilometers per hour
Well,
too?
that's what I mean.
They want to look like they're going
Makes
faster.
no sense.
that is
Yeah, you get humming at about 180 clicks, my friend.
What is that in America?
30 miles per hour, maybe.
150?
We only got 10
I don't
seconds.
know, 160.
We will take some calls in the second hour. We were supposed to do so, then we got caught up on Canadian time. That's 100% on us. We couldn't do the equation. You got about 6 minutes here. Nate Burleson will be on the other side. Super Bowl Tuesday, Pat McAfee Show. Well, hello, sensual piano keys. You sound incredibly inspirational and motivational. Big announcement coming from our company. You know, throughout my entire life, I've made decisions that people have said, ooh, that is stupid. You've read about them, you heard about them. When I was in high school, I went to an underground poker game, won $1,400, flew myself down to Miami, won a kicking contest, and got a scholarship to West Virginia the next day. I turned my back on soccer that day. Everybody said, you're an idiot. Why are you doing that? You have more schools looking at you for soccer than you do for football. What are you thinking? Fast forward 8 years with the Indianapolis Colts, and I was on top of the world, top of the mountain. How's the view? Not too shabby. And when I was at the top of my game, I decided, you know what? I'm going to pursue some other stuff. My friends and I are going to go to work on the internet. We're going to try to chase fulfillment as opposed to just a paycheck. And there were some interesting responses from people of power in the sporting world.
Make them tear the uniform off of you. Sure. Look, somebody needs to stage an intervention. People who know this guy, get to him now. Make him put his helmet back on and get to camp.
Oh no, there's no intervention, Wilbon. No. Here we are 3 years after that date, and it's a celebration, bitches! Cut the music! Let's hand out some bags to the boys. For the boys. For the boys.
By the way, that's for you, brother. Oh my God.
Are you home? All right, come out the front door.
What's up, dude?
What's this?
Oh, you son of a bitch.
What the fuck? Fuck you. Oh my God. Oh, yeah. That is the bag of money.
FanDuel deal went through. There's $50,000 in there for you. Here's a backpack with $50,000 in it. Oh, $50,000 in there.
Oh my God.
Yeah, so there's $50,000 in there. Yeah, so there's $50,000.
Are you fucking serious?
Let's go.
You brought it back?
Oh, man. Let's go, dude.
Let's go. I appreciate you, buddy.
Yo, this is
Appreciate you, man. Appreciate you, dude. We did it. Couldn't have done it without you. Oh, thank you.
Dude, it's a fuck ton of money. You guys.
When I asked Dan Patrick for some advice, he told me always take care of the boys.
Well, and you should know those people that are there with you, that their value cannot be overstated and should not be overstated.
So Mike Wilbon, they didn't hold my jersey on me. They didn't hold my helmet on me. We didn't have an intervention. What we have is a celebration. Because when you bet on yourself, sometimes you hit for big. And for us, the only place we'll bet for the next couple years in an exclusive deal, FanDuel backed the Brinks truck up to our office, and we have never been more thankful, more excited, and more together as we promote the greatest sports book on planet Earth.
The Pat McAfee Show.
There'll be no rules for our guests, for us, for the things we can talk about. Yes,
speaking his mind.
I've never had a problem expressing my opinions or my thoughts or anything like that.
While being relatable.
I haven't had that manufactured fake-ass celebrity that a lot of people have whenever they go on those big networks. I've had a chance to really build my crew, build my following, build my audience.
And ridiculous.
What am I supposed to do? So I'm supposed to look at something that I can definitely afford and say, nah. Is that what I'm supposed to do?
The Pat McAfee Show starts in 3, 2, 1.
Welcome back to said show. It is Super Bowl Tuesday, February 2nd, 2021 years after the year 0. Hour 2 will begin now because Twine had that incredible beat drop right there. Joining us in a couple moments, I believe, will be Nate Burleson of the Good Morning Football fame.
Yeah.
He also CBS football analyst Sundays. He also called the Nickelodeon game. He's also an incredible rapper. We will ask about that. When's the 2020 NFL wrap up?
Yeah.
Rap.
Ooh.
Is that what it's called?
I don't think that is what it's called, but I think they should maybe consider it.
Yeah, call it the wrap-up, but just with an R instead of the W. That seems like something that their big brains would think of immediately. Can't wait to chat with him about all that. Also, it is Groundhog's Day, and I would like to let everybody know this stance that I took on Twitter this morning is an accurate one. I once held Punxsutawney Phil in high regards. Okay. Sure. I once wanted to travel to Punxsutawney because I've heard it is an incredible party overnight over there in Pennsylvania. Okay, I've heard it is a good time into the wee hours of the morning when this once heralded groundhog would pop its head out from its hole, stare down a couple thousand drunks and a lot of older whites dressed up funny. Okay. And then if it ran to said older whites, winter was dying soon. If it went back into its hole and saw its shadow, obviously bundle up. There's 6 more weeks of winter coming. Mm-hmm. And I think I could speak on behalf of everybody. 2020, after what we just experienced with 2021 and everything going on, hey, Groundhog, you had one fucking job, okay?
Yeah.
Get out of that hole and run to the humans and give us a little bit of hope, all right? But instead this morning, the Groundhog did what I think it's done for a large majority of my life, and that's disappoint us all with the big charade that is just one drunk groundhog who can't find its way out of a goddamn hole.
Hell yeah.
And that's all I got to say about that.
Man.
Thank you.
He is. I mean, he's a scumbag, Punxsutawney Phil.
Well, I mean, maybe he's just, he's a man of honor.
Yeah.
If he sees a shadow, he sees a shadow.
He is not a man of honor. He is not a vermin of
I heard he doesn't pay his
credibility.
child support either.
He hasn't paid his child support. He's got little groundhogs running around all over Punxsutawney.
He has to be honest. I mean, he says this, and then what? We got our coldest week next week. I mean,
It doesn't mean we got another month and a half, dude.
He knows. He knows. I'm sorry, but he does.
Go check his percentages. I'd like to see his percentages.
Last year, nail on the head.
No. Does he know about global warming? Does he know? Does Punxsutawney Phil get updates down in his bunker underneath there?
No, he's a moron.
He's got no idea. He's a groundhog. A dumb one and a drunk one at this point.
Groundhog community's not going to like this.
I was going to transition right there because I called him a drunk one, right into our next guy. And I would like to remind the groundhog, by the way, to mix in some waters.
Yeah.
You know? Down in your hole, living maybe the finest life a groundhog has ever lived, Punxsutawney Phil. Mix in some waters. And that is what the company that this next guest is representing has been pitching all year. Hey, although we do create an incredibly delightful whiskey, also, we would like you to be responsible and have a little water in there every once in a while. Don't be irresponsible. Don't be the embarrassment to your friends and families. Go ahead and enjoy us because it's damn good. But do it responsibly with some water breaks.
Yeah.
Let's talk more about that, Crown Royal, and his incredible 2020 NFL season. One of the hosts of Good Morning Football. You also saw him on Nickelodeon and CBS, and he is an incredible rapper, ladies and gentlemen, Nate Burleson.
What's up? Wait. First of all, this Punxsutawney Phil slander gotta stop. I mean, the disrespect.
Yeah.
I mean, calling him a scumbag?
A drunk.
Man, all he's trying to do is come up out of the ground and tell the people of the world what's going on.
Once a year. Now, check his percentages, Nate. Check his percentages.
But listen, you over here beefing with the groundhog. Like, I don't understand.
What about accountability, Nate? That's the type of thing that I want to see. And in this year, after 2020, and how 2021 has started, aside from some incredible things happening, for instance, the Nickelodeon game, which there's been a lot of potential good that we will look back upon on these bad times.
Okay, you want to stand up?
And say things are good. All right, don't miss the hat. The hat's one of your best things. The hat, you got a great hat game, okay? Don't want to do it. All that groundhog had to do, Nate, get up out of that hole, run to one of the weird whites over there wearing a weird suit, and just give some hope. Just give some hope. Be a groundhog of hope that this winter isn't going to continue, because I believe if you're over in New York right now, this winter is bad. We don't need this groundhog.
It's bad. You're right. Listen. It is bad, and I agree. But I will say this. His percentages might be off, but it wasn't any worse than them field goal kicks this season.
Wow.
It's an extra point. All you got to do is just...
This guy. Hey, you should mix in some waters over there, okay? You should mix in some water. How are you, dude? Hell of a season, Nate. You got a hell of a season, man. Hey,
I appreciate that, man. And you too, man. You've been kicking butt ever since you left the game. And we've talked about it. I think we talk about it just about every time we see each other. Making the decision to walk away from the game is the most difficult one. But I remember us talking off camera and you saying, I got a plan and I'm about to put in this work, man. So just to be one of your friends and colleagues in this media world, I'm just glad to see you striving, man.
Well, I appreciate that, Nate. It's not about me, and obviously I am absolutely crushing it. But this isn't about me. Let's talk about you, okay? Nate, by the way, I am, but let's not talk about that. You on CBS has been awesome. Whenever they clip to you and you get to call the highlights of other games and things like that, I see that you put effort into that. And actually, it's been very nice to see you kind of drop into more positions. The Nickelodeon thing is awesome. How did that come together? You crushed it on there. I assume they told you that was a massive success.
Yeah, I did need another job. But they came to me and they said, well, we have this special broadcast. It'll be the first NFL game ever on Nickelodeon. And I just thought to myself, being that I was born in the 80s, raised in the 90s, influenced by the 2000s, this is my wheelhouse. Like, I'm a big kid, and I'm like you in the sense that this is all football that they've seen before, right? There's nothing new under the sun. I can tell you why a post corner works. I mean, you can tell me how to put a punt right in the corner, just coffin corner.
Oh, yeah.
You can tell me that 10 times out of 10 in the most traditional way ever. Mm-hmm. But what we do, we just try to deliver it in a different way. We make it digestible across all demographics. So when they said that this Nickelodeon thing was a possibility, I thought, all right, I can talk to the 5-year-old and the 50-year-old about a football game. So as I'm preparing for it, I'm not watching football, trying to figure out the X's and O's and impress somebody by telling you how play is broke down. For me, it was more about trying to make the game more digestible to those groups. So when I was talking about Mitchell Trubisky and I said, well, he was benched early on in the season. And for those who don't know what bench means, it's kind of like getting grounded. You got to get off restriction first, and that's play better football. So I just did that pretty much all game long. And the prep for it, this is what I did. I was in a hotel room in New Orleans, and for 2 days straight, I watched reruns of Double Dare, all that, Rocko's Modern Life, Rugrats, Keenan and Kel.
Wow.
That's all, and that's how I prep for the game.
Smart. That's good notes to take, by the way. And we saw that on display throughout the entire game. I think of the humans that you'll probably interact with in your life, watched a lot more of that game than I would ever. I was not a Nickelodeon kid. I was not a part of Nick Nation, which I learned about on the broadcast. I watched a couple shows, obviously, over there, but not really dive fully in as most kids did. But I was intrigued by it because it was a much different avenue of watching a game. And obviously, whenever you compare that to what Tony and Jim sounded like, and by the way, Tony and Jim are good and their whole thing, it was just like a fresh way to kind of look at the game. Did you have any conversations? Did they have any conversations with you guys afterwards or beforehand that this is something the NFL is thinking about, like potentially expanding upon, is different? Because you guys being in the stadium, getting meetings, like that's much different than like a live stream watch along. Do you think that there's going to be more of those, you think?
Yeah, no doubt about it. And I feel like with the response that they received online, they would have to. I believe it was over 2 million people watched the broadcast, which was the most watched show that Nickelodeon has put on in 4 years. So just that success in that type of format, I believe the NBA can recreate that. Major League Baseball. Imagine hockey and you're sliding around on the rink and it's all slime. And then when you score a goal, it explodes with slime. Or even like the Olympics and somebody's doing the triple jump and then they jump into the sand pit and slime burst out. So regardless if you watched, Nickelodeon or not, what were you watching when you were little? Were you like a 5-year-old watching like Love and Marriage?
Nate, yeah, I did. Al Bundy kind of led me the way for a lot of things, but I was out working, Nate. Okay, I was out working. I was kicking the ball against the side of the wall. All right, big ADD kid, didn't have time. Okay, to learn about all these different kids that you referenced during the thing, which was awesome. Can we talk about your rap career a little bit? Because we at this particular office, big fans of New Balance. Big fans, all right? Yeah. You did one of last season after the 100th season. You made a rap about it. Are you calling those wrap up? And when should we be expecting the one from the 2020 NFL season? And have you already started putting pen to pad for that particular song?
Okay, let me see here. I make people wait because it's a strategy. Any other show you rock with, see, that's a catastrophe. You rocking with the best, Nate B and Pat McAfee. Woo! Go after me. No. But hey, listen, I will write something for your show just because I love your show that much.
Yes.
Free of charge. But I'm patiently waiting though because I wanted to do it during the quarantine. But it just everything threw me off. But I'll put something together by the time the new season kicks off.
Well, we can't wait to hear it. And by the way, I like that your brain immediately said McAfee, and then you had to figure out things that rhymed with that, and then you had to put sentences together. And you landing on catastrophe that quickly, very impressive.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Very, very, very impressive. I don't know if you've ever thought of that before, but if not, incredibly impressive. Let's talk about the game this weekend. How do you see it going? Obviously, you are on NFL Network every morning. The show is awesome. Good Morning Football is awesome. Everybody loves it. Everybody that watches it loves it. I know you guys know that. You guys should get complimented on a more regular basis. It's a great show. Obviously, it's in the NFL Network, so you guys got to do what you got to do versus what other people have to do. But I think what you guys do is awesome. But being in the NFL world, what do you think the big storylines are aside from Patrick Mahomes and Tom Brady? How do you think this one ends up? What are you guys what is Schrag saying behind the scenes? How about Kyle Brandt doing 7,000 push-ups a day?
Yep.
Kay Adams just fucking rocking that thing. What is the conversation off camera about how this whole thing's going to pan out this weekend?
Well, first, let me say I think the biggest conversation of the year is you pulling off Aaron Rodgers just casually kicking back and chilling with you, bro.
Yeah.
Like anytime you're talking with one of the best athletes to ever play the sport, and he's in this position doing the interview, like that's just gangster. Like,
in his sunroom, by the way. In his sunroom.
Man. But that right there was official, bro. So I applaud you for that.
Thank you.
I think the biggest storyline is it's the pass catchers in this game. And I know when you hear that, you're thinking, Kansas City Chiefs, right? Travis Kelce, the best tight end in the business. Tyreek Hill, the most dangerous weapon. They have a host of players like McCole Hardman and maybe even Sammy Watkins back on the field. Like, this is going to be the Kansas City Chiefs game to lose. And if the Buccaneers can't keep up with them, they're toast. It's not necessarily the case. You know, there's this narrative that the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are going to have to rush the ball and they're going to have to goat milk the clock because Tom Brady's the GOAT. And if they milk the clock with Leonard Fournette, then they're going to be perfectly fine. Nah, they also got playmakers too.
Yeah,
right?
there you go.
You have Mike Evans, who's been cooking. Chris Godwin, who's a beast. Scotty Miller, who is underrated and underappreciated. And Antonio Brown, if he's healthy, is back on the field. So the storyline is that, yes, Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs can throw the rock. But so can Tom Brady and the Buccaneers, too.
I agree completely. Can't wait to watch this weekend. Will you be sipping some Crown Royal while watching the big game, Nate?
Oh, speaking of killing it. Yeah. Shout out to Crown Royal. That's the family right there.
Yep.
I'm definitely going to be rocking with the brand. I've been loving the brand for a long time. So I wanted to partner with them, and they have a great campaign, which is a water break, encouraging fans to have a good time, enjoy every moment, enjoy the big game on Sunday, but also encouraging them to hydrate as well. And they have some really cool spots when it comes to this hydration. They locked in with Kevin Garnett. You know, I played for the Vikings, and when I was there, he played for the Timberwolves. I've always wanted to be on the same team as the Big Ticket. So when you guys see the Crown Royal ad and you see KG, the Big Ticket, doing this thing, just know that this is all part of the water break campaign. And we all know how important it is. Pat, you know how important it is. We only can do what we can do if we take our water breaks. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, bingo.
KG.
Hey, he talks the best shit, I think, out of a lot of people that have come on to television. I am a big KG fan, as we are of you and Crown Royal. Thanks for stopping by today, Nate. We appreciate you. Can't wait to see the wrap-up song of the 2020 NFL season.
Hey, once this stuff lifts and the quarantine lifts, I got to come in person, bro. That's one of my goals.
You got a jumper?
I'm not doing the TV talk thing. You know how we rock, Pat.
Yeah. Do you have a jumper?
Get that out of here.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, yeah, you will have to stop.
Defense.
Ladies and gentlemen, Nate Burleson. Thank you, Nate.
AKG.
Hey, him coming by would be cool. We got a church now, I guess. So.
That's true.
Yeah, forgot about that.
We officially closed on Mr. Smothers' neighbor's church.
Yeah!
Hell yeah! That guy. We're going to win him over.
We're going to keep a prayer room?
There's a couple in there. Jesus used to live there, by the way. He moved out. So
upgrade
down to the basement.
He upgraded. Yeah, he got.
Oh, did he?
I think so. Jesus is with all of us all the time.
That's right.
First of all,
Hey, I know that.
do you?
I know that better than most.
Oh, is that right?
Sure doesn't sound like it.
Sitting right next to me right now.
But he no longer lives in said place. We live there now.
Yes.
Well, right now, currently, nothing lives in there except for like a baby grand piano that they gave us.
What?
Oh. Yeah.
I thought you were going to say a baby giant panda, which would have been awesome.
I saw a video of a panda sledding yesterday on its back.
Yeah, that's good.
Panda's
Damn
pretty
good
cool.
time.
Yeah, panda's pretty cool. Let's get some phone calls here. Crown Royal, mix in some waters, dude.
Yeah.
Always.
Catastrophe.
That was sick.
McAfee. Wow. Because I thought my name was potentially like orange a little bit, you know?
Yeah.
Gonna be tough to find a winner there. Pfft, his brain, no problem, dude. After me. Yeah, I think he said at the end, right? What's he gonna do? He's gonna make us a song?
Sounds like
Sounds like it.
Because I asked him about that recap rap that he made, which full music video. That was after the 100th season. What was that? Last year, 2 years ago?
Yeah, last year, I think.
It was really good.
Oh yeah, big budget.
Big budget.
Yeah.
We're talking Lambos, planes.
Yep.
He was doing a lot of
Oh,
this.
making money dance?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Schrags was in there a couple times too, hitting that.
And by the way, it was a great recap of the season.
It was.
I mean, it was a very great. Every sentence you're like, oh,
Yeah.
So much shit happened this season. We need that now at this point.
Bad.
Let's get some phone calls, shall we? Let's go. Oh, hold on. Let me see. We might have a guest that's pretty large.
Ooh.
I told him 140, but we had to have a hard out there with Nate Crown Royal. I mean, we should probably hit a break and then him on the other side.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, it would be
How
Let's
about
go.
125? Well, 126, because probably going to talk for the next at least minute and a half, 2 minutes. Not going to get to a break. 127.
True.
Yeah, that's a good point.
And what is your number? TJ Lang.
Oh, come on.
TJ Lang, he's from Detroit, I believe. Okay.
Yep.
He seems to be a fan of the Red Wings.
Oh, jeez.
And the Lions, I believe, and everything like that. He played for the Lions for a bit, played for the Packers, though. Became good friends with Aaron, AJ, and the boys and everybody. We've had him on the show. Very hilarious individual.
Oh yeah.
Okay, this is it. He stirred the pot this morning. Was it this morning or last night?
I believe it was this morning.
This morning, he stirred the pot a little bit. I don't know what for or how it happened, but he was getting quoted in the New York Post all of a sudden.
Yeah.
Things are growing. He said that he thinks, now, I don't know the delivery. I'm just going to ask him.
Yeah.
Okay.
Something was said about his thoughts on Aaron towards the Packers organization.
Right.
And I don't know how he delivered it, how he said it, who he was saying it to. For instance, some people yesterday took. This is a great song. Some people took Chris Ballard telling me, "Can you throw?" that I said as a joke and put it in thing, and then a lot of people, like Chris Ballard, was getting attacked for not being, like professional by some people. It was like, no, it was a joke. Did TJ Lang say that as a joke?
Okay.
And then it started getting quoted because the quote was that Aaron Rodgers is going to go after.
Is hell-bent on revenge against the Packers front office.
What a line, by the way.
Yeah.
What a line. Who did he say that to? How did he say it? And why is there numerous articles now about what TJ Lang's saying? We'll talk to TJ Lang on the other side. Perfect. This is the Pat McAfee Show here on February 2nd, 2021. Big thanks to Nate Burleson for joining us. We also have Ryan Fitzmagic joining us.
Yeah. Oh, hell yeah.
Can't wait to chat with him. And your phone calls, 1-888-MAD-DOG-6. We'll see you guys. Why is football the greatest sport on earth? And do you think football is the greatest sport on earth? And why do you like football?
That's a really deep question there, Pat.
I know. I think I'd get a good answer out of you, though. Like, I think you'd be able to talk about it in a way that I think a lot of people haven't because you've been at the pinnacle of it for so damn long and inside of it. And your brain is a pretty fantastic one. We've learned here over the last few weeks, obviously. Last few weeks, that's it. That's all the time we've learned that.
I think it's the greatest sport in the world for one main reason. It is a true team sport where it is damn near impossible for one person to dominate an entire game. If you look at other team sports, basketball with 5 guys on the court, I think you've seen multiple players over the years. Maybe one player, or maybe 1 or 2 players on a squad be able to dominate and win championships. Baseball, you can have a dominant pitcher and win championships. Soccer, you can have a dominant forward and or goalie that seems to be a little more of a team sport, but you don't have 11 players engaged at the same time on every play. It is truly a sport reliant on every player on the field to do their job in order to be successful. And I think that's why at times, certain star players can get maybe too much credit and maybe too much blame on the flip side, because it does take so many players at the same time in 3 phases to win football games. And I think that's the beauty and the draw of our sport, is that something new happens all the time, because you are literally dealing with 11 humans on the field at one time who all have lives outside of football, and there's distractions, there's a reliance on coaching, there's a reliance on preparation, there's a reliance on diet and performance. I just think there's so many facets to it that you see something new every single week, and I think that's the beauty in our game. When it comes to the love that I have for it, it's rooted, and I think like any player who's played for a long time, the love is not just about our sport, it's about competition. And I think there's nothing in the world for me that fills that need and that hole I have like competition. I think if players who played for a long time at a high level, you have that need to be satiated competitively, and it's a love of going out there and going against guys and being in an environment where you know that nothing is guaranteed. And that's why at times I've taken umbrage to people saying that it's easy, because it's not easy. It's never easy. And I think that's the beauty in our game, is that you see things new every single week. It's never easy. And your only thing you're guaranteed is the ability to compete. I love that aspect of it. I love competing. I love going out there and harnessing the fear of failure, where I think so many people who maybe don't love football as much, the root of that is a deep fear of failure, that you might go out there and your best might not be good enough, and that's not okay with you.
Every day is game day for these guys. It's showtime on the Pat McAfee Show.
How about it?
Pretty good. Gumpy loves that one.
Oh, yeah.
Every day's game day, dude. That's why if you're chewing out there, you need to stop with that tobacco nicotine garbage and move over to Canadips CBD.
Yeah!
Guys, for all of you who want to try Candips for free and also win free gear, you have 1 week left to enter the big game competition.
Let's go.
The offer is unreal. The first 20,000 entries have a chance to win a free tin and a free hat, shipped to you free of charge with no purchase necessary. Head to CanadipCBD.com/big game and follow the easy prompts to get in on the competition. Act fast. Over half of the free entries are gone, and the boys at Canadips want to ship as many cans to the listeners and watchers of the show as they get approval from corporate to send out.
Oh, yeah.
They got their CFO Phils over there. They have to talk to them.
Yep.
Makes sense. Got to have those. In a matter of 4 clicks of a button, yes, it's that easy. You can decide if it will be the mighty Chiefs hailing from the land of barbecue at -3.5 or the legend of Tampa Bay riding his goat. Well, they would be riding the goat into football eternity. Entries are eligible for a free tin and free shipping for picking the right side against the spread. To top it off, if you can nail the total points scored, Candips will send you an embroidered hat for free, so you can pack lip boomers and look like a kingpin at the kids' softball game or while you zoom in from the home office.
Hell yeah.
Head to CanadipCBD.com/big game and end up with some CBD patches on the house.
On the house.
Wow.
Only a few thousand of entries are left. Let's go.
Okay.
Get there fast.
Shout out Canalip CBD.
Shout out.
Good company.
Also CBDMD. Two very different companies.
Mm-hmm.
Canadips is getting rid of the people that are chewing tobacco.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
That has a bunch of harmful shit in it.
Oh, yeah. Lots.
Okay.
Too much.
And it's hard to get off of that because there isn't an alternative that has ever been created that makes you go, oh, this is similar to the habit, the act. So not only do you have to bust the nicotine habit, but then you also have to bust the physical habit that you have with the, and then the Canadip CBD pouches, Ty, you could say, are something that are a good replacement.
Yeah, absolutely. They are. They taste good. It actually feels like you have a chaw in there because, like you said, the nicotine's hard, but the oral fixation part is much tougher to kick.
So Canadip CBD is getting rid of that. CBDMD is getting rid of the pharmaceuticals, basically. So there are two CBD companies on two very different missions, but all trying to make the world a healthier place.
Absolutely.
Same.
Shout out to Canadip CBD. Have not gotten a response, I believe, from TJ Lang. We just tried to call him. We'll have him at 1:40 then. So we'll have him in 11 minutes. TJ Lang will be joining us.
Nice.
Cannot wait to chat with him about his thoughts about what's going on with AR-12. Zito, before we get some phone calls here, 1-888-MAD-DOG-6 on this Super Bowl Tuesday. We'll have Ryan Fitzmagic joining us in an hour, in 25 minutes or so. The poll, we have an interesting poll. Yeah. We have some poll news.
Really?
We have some big poll news.
Oh, yeah.
Our polls once lived solely on Twitter.
Yeah.
At Viva Lazito.
Yep.
And those polls, by the way, did very well.
Very well, yeah.
Very well on Twitter. 20,000, 30,000 votes.
Oh, yeah.
35.
Once had an 80,000 vote.
Oh, yeah.
Which, by the way, if you look at other polls around Twitter.
Can't touch it.
Very good. There are some. But
I saw one today. Couldn't even touch it.
But anyways.
Get your own poll. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but Zito, though, big polls.
Yeah.
Huge.
Then we learn about something over there on the YouTube. In the community tab, I guess, on your YouTube page.
We dug out our old poll and buried our new poll into this one.
This particular poll that you put on YouTube, I guess, shows it in front of every single person that is on YouTube.
Yeah.
Yesterday, we had 180,000 votes.
Oh, pretty good.
Not too shabby.
On YouTube in the community. We would like, hey, let your voices be heard, by the way, on our YouTube polls in the community tab of YouTube. We'll still do it on Twitter, but I want to let you know that is a much smaller sample size than what we are getting right over here where we are currently broadcasting from.
Because our poll maker could be able to handle the pressure. That's a lot of eyes.
Zito, a lot of eyes on the polls. Now, first two polls have not been Zito polls.
Okay.
These have been trial polls to see if they work.
Okay.
Not official.
How many votes do we have on the one currently in the community tab of our YouTube channel?
Right now, 57,000.
Okay.
That's 57,000.
There was 9,000 votes in 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Okay, on that particular poll.
Okay.
So we do have poll news. The poll will never die. With
No.
The poll is a great way for listeners and watchers to let their voices be heard.
It has been resurrected.
Yeah, it has been
Yeah.
resurrected.
Has been resurrected.
It has been resurrected.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Should I read this one?
Sure.
Who was more responsible for the Patriot Dynasty?
Oh, classic.
It's a good one.
Bill Belichick, 28%.
You don't
Tom Brady, 72%.
57,000 votes thus
The
far.
Brady way.
First 2 hours. Is that a good size, sample size? You tell 57,000
Can you see the poll?
Hey, that's more than the mother. What are they? Barnes and Noble. Who does the TV rating thing?
Nielsen.
Oh,
Nielsen.
yeah.
Barnes.
They do the book ratings.
They do the book ratings.
Yeah, boy, they do the book rating. Nielsen, though, they have so many things in certain amount of things.
Yeah.
Are they testing 57,000 people?
Not at all.
In 2 hours to see what's going on?
Nope.
No.
Nah.
This might be the best focus group of all time.
Yeah. We got an inside job on this poll. Someone voted in the office on this poll.
Yeah, it did seem like somebody did vote on
the only way to see it is to vote on it. So,
and you put your vote. You let your voice be heard.
yes, I did. Yes. That's the difference with the Twitter one and this one. You have to have your voice heard.
Yeah. 57,000. That thing's going to get up over probably 120, 130,000 votes today.
Yesterday's was 254,000.
254,000?
Yeah, that's
a lot of votes.
Hey, Twitter, listen, we really love Twitter. Twitter is good for a lot of things. The fleeting, not great.
No, terrible.
Okay, Twitter's good with a lot of things.
Yeah.
I love Twitter. Twitter's my favorite thing.
By far.
Fleeting, not great. Okay, you're not doing Twitter to do the fleet. No. Okay, you're doing probably Instagram to do that, or the originator of that entire thing. And the polling, not great. What we're learning is YouTube. It is the home of polling.
Crushes it.
Now, who's voting on this? We'll never know, but we do know 57,000 people did.
A lot of people.
This is the community. We're showcasing how to go to the community page right there on top.
Just refreshed at 59,000.
Oh, 50,000 by what's a conversation? Let your voice be heard out there. Go vote. Let's get to Caden in Washington. What's going on, Caden?
Hey, Pat, can you hear me good?
Yeah, you sound fantastic. And to be honest, with the first 4 words, I don't know if that's going to give us an accurate depiction on the entire conversation on whether or not I can hear you or the service is going to be good. But every time somebody asks that, it does make me feel good about you worrying about the quality of the call you're about to make. So, Caden, what do you want to talk about, pal?
Yeah, man, it's all for the brand. So I want to talk about Pats, big Pats fan, right?
Yeah.
I owe it to them, won my first $5 bet to them, and saw my first boob in the same Super Bowl, so owe that to them. But I honestly think that the Pats are going
to speculate, but
shock the world a little bit and grab Andy Dalton.
Ooh, Dalton to the Patriots.
Okay.
I like
That's
that, Caden. Dalton to the Patriots. Go ahead and say, maybe if Carson Wentz doesn't work out, obviously, going to New England, maybe Andy Dalton is the answer.
Yeah, we wouldn't pay Brady, but maybe we'll pay Wentz. But Tom Curran did report Brissett, Winston, and actually Fitzmagic are the 3 that the Patriots have been eyeing.
Tommy Curran, by the way.
Curran.
Tommy Curran got quote tweeted by somebody and said, nah. But now at this point, who knows who's right about what? I mean, the internet now with insiders and information that could be potentially said to be completely false by somebody, and then just days later it turns out that it was actually right, but this was wrong about it. I mean, that's why this show is going to have content forever, because the amount of bullshit that just floats out there that has some legitimacy is immense at this point.
Yeah, Dan Sileo had Stafford's top 5 spots, and the Rams weren't even near any of those places.
That's crazy. I wonder if that happened at that pool. If they were at a pool together down there, I wonder if that's when the Rams hopped into Matt Stafford's desired locations. After Dan Sileo didn't get a chance to hear about that.
He also last night had Derek Carr to the Texans in a trade for Watson to the Raiders.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes you got to watch all this stuff and be like, yeah, it could happen.
Yeah, take your shots.
Who does Cilio know? I believe him.
Goodell.
I believe him.
Houston does love the Cars.
I don't know if Goodell even knows about this stuff going on. You think Goodell gets an update on all the big trades? I'd assume he might.
Yeah.
It's got to come through his fax machine.
First one to know.
Because what happened? In the NBA, they stopped Chris Paul from going to L.A.
Yeah.
And that was the commish?
Yeah. Not happy about that.
Not doing it. Excuse me.
Sorry.
We're not starting this shit yet, but in about a year or so we will.
Yeah.
And you will be the one that gets fucked. That's kind of what they did. Yeah. So I would assume in the NFL there are some checks and balances. I don't know.
Just like in fantasy, your league commissioner gets to approve trades.
Just like in fantasy. You're right.
Same thing.
I don't do the fantasy football, but next year, hey.
You're going to do it.
I'm doing a league or two.
I'll tell you what.
Yeah, I'm going to do it.
Fantasy basketball also. Great time.
NBA?
Yeah. Doing it this year.
Give me Zion.
I got
Zion. Zion. Let's go to Daniel and call it. How is Zion doing? Good?
He's crushing. Yeah.
That's what I thought.
Yeah.
Winning a lot of games?
No, apparently Van Gundy still has his head up his ass.
Yeah, that guy's a stooge. Hey, big news on the NBA last night. Fucking Daddy Carlos.
Oh, yeah.
All right, Daddy Carlos. I guess Atlanta legend, if I had to guess. Courtside seats at the Atlanta Hawks game. There's only like 24 fans in the stands, so he had to pay an immense amount of money for this.
Oh, yeah.
He and his wife, Juliana Carlos, sitting front row there, courtside, enjoying the game, which tickets they paid for, by the way, we learned afterwards.
Of course.
Daddy Carlos, it's his Instagram handle. This guy, legend of a man.
Yeah,
all right?
006. Yeah.
He and LeBron get into a spat, allegedly. There's mixed reports on who said what. Juliana Carlos, the wife of Daddy Carlos, one of the people who was Daddy Carlos is named Chris, by the way, we just learned.
Really?
Said on Instagram that Daddy Carlos was cursed out by LeBron James. The Athletic has reviewed courtside video.
Okay. Here we go.
From Daddy Carlos and others. The only comment audible from LeBron James is him saying, "Oh, steroid ass."
That is good.
That's awesome.
That is
Incredible.
There is Juliana and Daddy Carlos via their Instagram pages. You could see why LeBron potentially said what he said about Daddy Carlos after The Athletic reviewed the video. He is a yoked older gentleman.
Look out.
I would like to know how much money they paid for these seats. I would assume it's a lot of money. And after scanning through Daddy Carlos's Instagram this morning, I'll tell you what, I believe they live a pretty lavish lifestyle.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not 100% sure how or why or what they did, but whatever it was, it worked.
Yeah.
And this will not be the end of Daddy or Juliana Carlos.
No.
I believe we potentially have new famous fans that we are going to get to watch on a regular basis with the Atlanta Hawks. I would assume people are going to keep up with Daddy Carlos and Juliana Carlos.
Personally, I'd be shocked if they had to pay anything for those tickets because I assume the Atlanta Hawks just want them courtside every single game.
Yeah,
The
hey,
star power.
They're actually a member of the team.
Surprised they don't have Big Boy's seat underneath the basket.
Now, I will say I have sat in Big Boy's chair courtside at an Atlanta Hawks game, and the Big Boy chair had fur on it. Got a little hot, actually, because I am hot, and the fur, does heat up. That's why animals fucking have them. But big thing. Had a couple Budweisers that were Big Boy Budweisers.
Nice.
I believe they were like 50 ounces
Yes,
with
please.
his face on them. I mean, they were very nice to us down there. But now I have to wonder whether or not Daddy Carlos is going to potentially want some fur on his goddamn seat as well. For, although he did lose the game for them by getting LeBron to the state of mind that he got the other day with the Cleveland Cavaliers executive clapping a little bit. Then he scored like 9 straight or something, and they beat the Atlanta Hawks or whatever immediately following the Carlos's incident. But that's neither here nor there. I think they will win more often than they will lose if you let them out there to kind of be a part of the battle.
That's right.
Well, and I wonder if Daddy Carlos and Juliana went to the Delta Sky Club that we went to.
For sure.
LeBron did say, like,
They may own it.
They may have been liquored up. Daddy Carlos goes in there to, who knows, goes in the bathroom, does something, I don't know, and then gets, a booze cocktail
What are we
afterwards.
talking about? Daddy Carlos' training regimen does not allow that.
No.
Bingo. He's drinking water, probably Defy water.
It is
Might be.
Atlanta.
Good shrimp cocktails.
What are you saying, Foxy?
Just off prior visits we've been there, I think Ty's got a good point here.
What are you talking
Just
about?
because you're a scumbag doesn't mean everyone else.
We were scumbags that night. We just had to say no to a lot of things that night.
Well, it's mostly the same thing from a lot of people. And it all rhymed with smokin'.
Yes.
All those, Atlanta, Southern rap, trap music, I believe, in Atlanta. Everybody's telling the truth about every single ounce that they have ever sold down there.
Yeah, no lies.
That was unbelievable. I've never been, and I'm assuming that Atlanta doesn't love whenever we do this or whatever, but Atlanta has a lot of incredible things. We were kind of at a couple bars where one generation of Atlanta was at.
Yes.
But boy, I ain't never seen anything like that since the birth of Adderall. And I feel like I've been out a lot in my life. I don't go out much anymore, but I have never seen a more willy-nilly cocaine community than down there at those bars. It was almost like if you didn't have an entire sandwich sack of it, you were almost like abnormal at some of these places.
We also didn't know people were still doing cocaine.
Had no idea.
We had no clue.
Just be Pat! Guy looks at me with these eyes. What's going on, dude? You want to go? And he just pulls out this bag, and I'm like, no, you shouldn't be doing that.
Razor bag?
I think that's a felony. When you just, I'm not 100% sure. Let's pivot away from cocaine.
Yeah.
Or
no, let's not. Let's pivot away.
Dive
from
in.
that. That's a good idea. Let's talk sports, shall we?
Yeah.
By the way, that was kind of sports because LeBron got into it with Daddy Carlos. And we are not alluding to Daddy Carlos or Juliana doing any of those things.
Not at all.
We're just talking about our experience in Atlanta.
Right.
Courtside 40,000 for a previous season, so I can only imagine now. And that's
Per
for
seat?
That's for a season. For a season.
Per seat.
Yeah.
I would assume they're going to be there again. Joining us now is a former teammate of Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Noted Detroit Red Wing fan.
Oh, yeah. Yikes.
And Lion fan. And now he's getting quoted all over the place. All right? for saying something about Aaron Rodgers' situation in Green Bay. I did not listen to the clip. I do not know where the quote came from, but I've seen the headline, sent him a DM, said, hey, got to talk about it. Ladies and gentlemen, an honorable man joining us, TJ Lang.
Yeah! Let's go, TJ! Woo! Slow Tuesday, huh?
How you doing, pal?
Yeah, I'm great, man. Woke up this morning to a firestorm of tweets, angry text messages, whatnot. Didn't think I did anything that wrong, but, you got to be careful what you say these days, I suppose.
I do suppose that is something that is accurate. Shout out to the Barwis Method shirt, by the way. Mike Barwis, love your brother. That's a guy who is my strength coach at West Virginia. Absolute animal of a man, specimen of a man, grave. Shout out to that. But let's get to the firestorm you woke up to this morning. There was a quote in the New York Post. It was the headline that said, TJ Lang says that Packers QB Aaron Rodgers
is hell-bent on revenge against the Packers front office.
Okay, incredible quote, by the way. Anytime you can work in hell-bent and revenge crafted. How did that happen? When did you say it? I assume this potentially got taken out of context.
Well, it kind of got taken out of context, but if I was talking to you, Pat, on your show, and I said, hey, A-Rod's hell-bent on revenge, we would laugh about it, right? When you're doing a more serious show, obviously, they take it in a more serious manner. I should have known that. That was my bad. But no, we were talking, and the whole interview was this Detroit sports media. We were talking about the Lions, Goff, Stafford, all that stuff. Last 30 seconds was, give us your thought on Aaron Rodgers. And my thought kind of came down to, well, you've been hearing a lot of smoke the last couple weeks now about possible trades, restructure, whatever. I think there's a little bit of smoke there. But in my opinion, the way that quarterbacks are kind of handling their business, especially the last 2 weeks, when you look at Deshaun Watson, you look at Matthew Stafford, a couple other guys talking about maybe trying to force their way out. I think these guys understand what kind of power they have now. But with the Aaron Rodgers situation, I go back to really two quarterbacks, Pat, and it's Jordan Love last year, Tom Brady this year, right? You don't think that Aaron Rodgers took notice of what Tom Brady did this year going to Tampa and saying, you know what, I don't care if we have Mike Evans. I don't care we have Chris Godwin. You're going to go out, you're going to get me Gronk, you're going to get me AB, and we're going to make a run at this thing. I think guys kind of took notice of that. And in my opinion, it was just crazy just thinking, last year, draft time, Aaron was on your show, right, talking about the weapons that he could take. Right,
denim jacket, slicked back hair, very comfortable, good beard, talking about maybe we get a guy, maybe we trade it. He was giving out some ideas. Yeah, he really was in a very deep wide receiver class.
Very excited, I think he was, about the opportunity to maybe get another weapon to work with. They trade up and take a quarterback. In my mind, I think if you're Aaron Rodgers, I kind of think that was a little bit of a slap in the face. I kind of think that was some sort of a public humiliation almost. Not on purpose, but if you're him, how else to take that?
Whoa, TJ. He did tell us that, I don't know if it was that moment or whatever, but he was talking about how his entire mindset changed, that he no longer is in control of his future, and that it's no longer what happens, it's how I react. And it actually, I think he potentially from this, or maybe even before this situation, had this realization about how he would frame it in his mind, about how it doesn't matter anything else, I just got to react and do my thing. Because I did ask him directly, hey, is this a spite store? Hey, are we on a spite year or whatever? And he actually flipped the script completely on that thing. But there had to be a moment where he thought, well, what is this about? There had to be that moment. I agree. There had to be.
Yeah, and I don't think it would. I don't think it carried him this year, and it made him say, you know what, I'm going to show them wrong. I'm going to go out and win the MVP. But I do think there was probably a small part of him that said, wow, they took a quarterback. Wow, we're one piece away from maybe getting past the NFC Championship game. He probably had that moment. Now, I'm not saying it drove everything. It was his complete motivation. But then he goes out this year, has a season that he has 48 touchdowns, MVP year. I think part of the chip on his shoulder this year is going to be, you know what, we still failed to get back to the Super Bowl. Hey, there's Jordan Love sitting behind me. I don't know what their plans are. I think he was very honest after that loss, to Tom Brady and Tampa Bay, where he said, I don't know what my future is going to hold. I think that was 100% honesty. I don't think he's going to go anywhere, but I think he understands that he has the leverage right now to say, you know what, if I'm going to be here for, let's say, another 2 years, you're gonna guarantee my 2 years, and you're gonna do something like what Tom Brady did in Tampa Bay. You're gonna go get me a couple extra players. I got to win another Super Bowl before I move on from Green Bay.
Okay, so you. By the way, I think a lot of people think that that's potentially going to happen, right? I don't think that is anything. But you don't believe that he's going to be hell-bent on revenge. Like, that was whenever you start linking those words together, it's like, and especially because you played there and you know him, I think people start going like, oh, okay, so here's a guy who can speak from potentially knowing him rather well, right? I would think. And then he's hell-bent on revenge. That's why it got so big. And that's what you were referring to earlier, I think.
Yeah, that was probably a little strong to say. I don't think he's going to be hell-bent on revenge per se, but I do think that this is going to be a year where he's going to say, you know what, we're going all in. And I think, honestly, playing with him for 8 years and being in Green Bay, we had a lot of teams that were really good. One year we had all of our running backs get hurt, and we're sitting there talking in the locker room saying, wow, man, let's go trade for a guy, or let's go pick up this guy on that's a free agent right now. And they moved a wide receiver to running back. And it was Ty Montgomery, and he did a nice job for what he was asked to do, but it was kind of that symbolism where it's like, man, we can't just go all in. We're so close, and I think that's really what he's wanted his entire career. I think right now, revenge probably isn't the right word for it, Pat, but to go up there and maybe pound his fist and say, you know what, I did everything you guys asked. I bought into the system. I'm doing everything Matt LaFleur wants me to. We had a great year. We're still a piece away. You're going to give me that piece this year. We're not messing around like 20 draft where we're taking quarterbacks. We're getting pieces, whether it's free agency, Allen Robinson, Godwin type of player, or maybe some young guys coming in. I think this is going to be the year where he says, you know what, Tom Brady did it. You guys are going to do it for me.
I'll be fascinated to see if that's how this whole thing plays out. And by the way, I think everybody would be like, that's a very fair thing for Aaron to do. But after getting a chance to chat with him now for like a year or whatever, and learn a lot about him, I would love to be in the room whenever he's laying out that picture.
Yeah.
When he's painting the picture of I would love to be there just to potentially listen to how, because I don't think you'd be very aggressive, right? It doesn't sound like that. I don't think it would be like a very good picture, and this is what we're going to do. And then
he's going to go along. I mean, he's going to go about it the right way. You even heard him talk. I think he was talking to you maybe last week when he said, I'm going to hang around town for a little bit. There's conversations I need to have with some people.
He said, I have those every year. He said, but I'll definitely have them this year or whatever. He did say, I'm going to go have that. Yeah.
Yeah. And I think, my biggest point was coming out was basically saying, I think this is going to be the year where he just pounds his fist privately, right, and just kind of demands, you know what, guys, I've done everything you asked for me. You got to do me a favor now. Because, look, is he going to be there in 2 or 3 years from now? Who knows? I don't think he even knows. He's definitely going to be there next year. There's no way they're going to trade him. But that's probably going to be a private conversation he has. And the good part is we don't have to wait too long to find out what's going to happen. Free agency isn't too long away, and draft is, it's going to come by pretty quick. So whatever happens, I think if you're Aaron Rodgers and you're Green Bay Packers fans, it's going to be awesome to be a part of that because your team now is finally going to go all in and try to win that Super Bowl.
I hope they do. You won a Super Bowl. Let's talk about that real quick here. We have a few minutes, and I can't thank you enough for joining us, especially because his name's in the headlines everywhere. Mm-hmm. This guy. Great news, TJ. It's good news. It's good news, TJ. It's good news. Look, there you go. Yeah. Yeah, a lot of text messages, I would assume. But it's going to happen, by the way, in this game, TJ. It's going to happen. It's the way the world is. Your hit to miss level is much higher. So don't even worry about any of that stuff. But before we get out of here.
Don't do many interviews, Pat, because I kind of get riled like Tommy Boyle style where I just go full out, and just say stupid shit once in a while. But
that's kind of
my heart's in the right place.
Yeah, bingo. I agree. Andrew entertaining as hell. But that's like Clyde Christensen. We talked to him yesterday, quarterback coach for Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And listening to him talk, there was a couple people in the comments that are like, well, he's going to get fired for that. He's going to get fired for that. And it was like, no, that's just him having a conversation. And by the way, the headlines will continue, but we do have to get out of here in like a minute. You played in the Super Bowl, won a Super Bowl. Anything different that week as an offensive lineman, or are you just trying not to be the reason why you lose it?
I was trying not to be the reason we lost. I mean, I wasn't a starter at the time. I was a backup. But Chad Clifton was like an 11-year vet. He didn't practice. So I practiced, with the ones all week. I was shitting my pants, man. I was nervous as hell. Offensive lineman's worst nightmare is having a terrible game in the playoffs or the Super Bowl, right? But luckily, Chad stayed healthy in the Super Bowl. I got to be a part of some very important field goals and extra points, which really made a difference, which was fun. But, yeah, that week leading back to it, I mean, we were the 6th seed. We stomped into the playoffs last minute. It was kind of just, hey, let's go out there, see what happens, man. Have fun with it and go just, see what happens. And we ended up going all the way, an amazing run by Aaron and a bunch of other guys, our defense, Charles Woodson. It was incredible. It was crazy to think that was 10 years ago now, right? Yeah, I think it was awesome, man. The fact that we never got back there, I know Aaron Rodgers' pain. I mean, we lost in 2014, 2016, really bad fashion in both games, and obviously him going through it twice more the last 2 years. I really want him to win at least 1 or 2 more before he leaves Green Bay, just for him, for his legacy.
Amen. We appreciate the hell out of you, ladies and gentlemen. TJ Lang, thank you. Yeah. Happy he came on and talked there.
Yeah. Clear
because,
his name.
Yeah, but he was saying something that a lot of people were saying, right?
Yeah.
But he played with him 8 years. Mm-hmm. And whenever you link together hell-bent revenge, that's a hell of a that's a hell of a go there. He probably woke up this morning just like, oh no.
Wait, what?
What did I say?
CBS
Sports. That was the last 30 seconds of the show? Come on. It was 29 minutes, 30 seconds.
Bad luck.
Last 30 seconds, all of a sudden, all hell breaks loose.
The other parts of the interview I thought were even better.
Yeah, what did they talk about what I was saying? Because I heard him talk about Matt Stafford and Goff and everything. Yeah. And by the way, I wanted to talk about that, but then I was realizing, like, our time's running away here. And this is, like, I assume he thought, like, I gave a good 29 minutes.
Yeah.
All right, great. Yeah. I assume he had a great Stafford take there.
Good breakdown.
Could have had a great Stafford take from him right there. Super Bowl week, Tuesday, TJ Lang. Mm-hmm. Could have talked about Jared Goff now being a lead guy. How about Motor City Dan Campbell chewing on kneecaps?
Yeah, hopes up.
I mean, these are all very good conversations that could happen, but instead he's talking about a statement that he made previously. That is never a good day to have.
No, it's not.
Even if it's, not necessarily as bad as the headlines make it sound, which, by the way, is every time.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, that's the internet, baby.
Hell yeah.
That happens, baby.
That's the way the internet will go.
It's going to get you.
TJ Lang is an entertaining dude. Shout out to him.
Shot.
I would assume the hilarious text messages he got this morning.
Yeah.
Quite an array.
You said what?
We have to get to a break. Obviously, we're back on the other side with AJ Hawk, and then Ryan Fitzmagic will join us in the third hour as well. Also, we will answer your phone calls. I cannot wait to chat with you. 1-888-MAD-DOG-6. This is the Pat McAfee Show, Tuesday, February 2nd on Sirius XM, Channel 82, Mad Dog Sports Radio.
Hi, how's it going? My name is Pat McAfee. Used to hold balls for Adam Vinatieri. Now I'm in his home state. College game day is absolutely electric. In Brookings, South Dakota. Let's go!
College game day has made the voyage to Brookings, South Dakota to experience a game with the best fans in college football. I unfortunately cannot attend because I have a game this Sunday, so I sent a man I trust to make my picks. A man who was my holder for almost a decade. Please be nice to him. Welcome this week's celebrity guest picker, Pat McAfee.
Go big, go blue, go Jacks.
Hosting Auburn. Yes, everybody saw this. The best fake punt in the world. What do you think, Pat?
I absolutely loved it all the way up until execution time. That is not one we like to show in the brand headquarters and punting and kicking world.
Oh, dance off. Oh, let's get weird. Yes. Duck that, huh?
Bang! Right off the top of the dome. That makes it a lot easier when you got a dummy standing right in front of you like that.
Running. He's Daniel Russo.
Wax on, wax off, knee to the face.
Yes. Serious.
Go,
yes.
go, yes.
These teams stink. With that 15, they celebrate by doing shotguns. And I'm a big fan of that. I'm going with the University of Virginia Cavaliers. That was great. Whoa! I will never, ever in the history of my life cut against that ball. Oklahoma State is the winner here. Not so fast again.
what? I'm going with Trey.
Please excuse my dumb friend Kirk. Look at this crowd. They've been out here since 4 a.m. College game day comes to town. They lose their mind. The population of this state is about 800,000. And when the Jackrabbits take the field, they're alongside all 800,000 South Dakotans. The Dakota marker was in Fargo for far too long. Today, 5 o'clock local time, the Dakota marker is back in beautiful Brookings, South Dakota. Elementary school. They might be the Jackrabbits, but they're the GOATs today. Ladies and gentlemen, South Dakota State with the win.
Give me that place in.
No, don't do that. No. Leave. Coach.
He has the
Pat says it'll be no.
I told you I came on your radio show that we were going to get you on College Game Day.
Not only are you incredibly intelligent and handsome, you're a man of your word. You picked North Dakota today, so I had to bury you.
That's okay.
But it's been nothing but incredible. The College Game Day crew is hospitable. In South Dakota State, I think we can all agree, they showed up here. Yeah. But I loved it. I've watched the show, obviously, forever. And it's on in every single NFL locker room. My coaches are. So this is a big-time deal for me, my family, my friends. All right. I'm back in the day here. Appreciate you, boys. It's from the training room at the Colts. A.J. Watt tweeted. It's very hard to process the human being on television. I have texts from every human that I've ever done television with, like since way back in the day. They're like, we knew this day would come. Equipment managers, old teammates. I mean, you don't get to trend on Twitter often anymore. They make it damn near impossible. Go up onto a stage with a couple legends, talk some shit in front of the incredible South Dakota fans. What an awesome opportunity.
Oh, wow. He's getting the crowd into it. Yeah, he got some pumping up. He can't. Oh, boy.
Oh, with the balance! With the balance! Oh!
Silver platter in the bat. I don't know.
Oh, man. Oh, he's all over the table. He really is done for. Oh, there we have it. Oh, wow.
And there it is. There's too much semen in Bill's controller, so the buttons are sticking together. He is in jeopardy of owing.
Oh, Skunk is still alive.
Skunk is still alive, but
Let's go.
11-4.
Yeah, people talk about how skinny his legs are at times. I don't think people talk about how skinny his arms are as well. those things are paper thin.
We have eclipsed the $10,000.
Thank you, AJ.
Thank you, AJ.
Good boy, AJ Hawk. Very.
I could barely hear you guys anyway, so it's good. That was a good match. Good
Hey,
couple matches by Pat.
AJ, appreciate you, man.
I'm sweating bad.
Yeah, me too.
Have
I'm
you
pretty
been
wide
beat?
open as well. Hey, you're a good
Have you
player,
been-
AJ. Is that your first time playing?
It's like my second time playing this game. Not real ping pong. I'd love to play you any day of the week, but this one's still fun.
Okay, well, I play Oculus ping pong. Okay?
The Pat McAfee Show.
There'll be no rules for our guests, for us, for the things we can talk about.
Speaking his mind
I've never had a problem expressing my opinions or my thoughts or anything like that.
while being relatable.
I haven't had that manufactured fake-ass celebrity that a lot of people have whenever they go on those big networks. I've had a chance to really build my crew, build my following, build my audience.
And ridiculous.
What am I supposed to do? So I'm supposed to look at something that I can definitely afford and say, nah. Is that what I'm supposed to do?
The Pat McAfee Show starts in 3, 2, 1.
Good afternoon, beautiful people. Hour 3 on this Tuesday, February 2nd, 2021. SiriusXM Channel 82. Mad Dog Sports Radio Show will begin immediately following this beat drop right. Yeah. Shout out to Twine for that beat drop, and shout out to Amanda who'll be joining us for the next 55 minutes at least here on SiriusXM, and then going into youtube.com/The Pat McAfee Show. He's a college football national champion. He's a Super Bowl champion. Ooh. Ladies and gentlemen, he is Carl 1211, AJ Hawk. Yeah! Let's go, Carl! How you doing?
What's up, guys? Good. I saw the Nate interview. What a good dude. Just seems like an overall super positive, good guy.
Super positive, right? The ability to always be that positive and super PG is unbelievable. And the way he can do it without sounding corny is awesome. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's very hard to do what he does clean. It is not he's very talented. I'm a fan of Nate Burleson, old New Balance Nate Burleson.
New Balance, that's just a play on his initials? That's all it is?
Yeah, we didn't get into it.
He didn't deny it either, so.
Yeah, but we didn't even broach the subject.
Is that a real thing? I thought Zito just made that up before the show.
I thought that was a joke.
Did you just make up his name as New Balance?
No, it's on his wiki page.
I was about to say, if Zito would do that, that would be
on the bar too.
Very, without telling me either, just like letting it eat. That would be awesome. Zito, that would be rather
nickname
savage.
Everybody.
I would like just giving fake nicknames. Oh man, that would not be great for us. Obviously, that would get taken. Oh yeah, people would start talking about us disrespecting and all that stuff. Did you see TJ Lang? We talked to TJ. You know TJ very well, obviously, for your time in Green Bay. He woke up to just headlines all over the place for what he talked about for Aaron Rodgers' situation.
So I didn't see him on here, but I do know that I read his tweet and I saw them talking about it on some of the shows earlier today. What he laid out sounded about right. Like, it sounded like it kind of made sense, didn't it?
Well, what he said to us was basically what he thinks should happen, could happen, will happen. I don't know which one of those three he thought it would. But yeah, it's basically Aaron saying, we're going all in here. Let's give me a little bit more money. And I think his verbiage of using hell-bent on revenge is what really caught some people's eyes. I don't think that's how Aaron would broach the entire thing, but I do believe that is something a lot of people think is very, like, yeah, he should potentially go do that. Like, he should go ask them, like, hey, let's make a couple decisions here to potentially go all and win this thing. And TJ ended our conversation with him basically saying, like, Aaron needs another one. Like, he's bummed about Aaron not winning. He said in 14 and 16, it was heartbreaking. And then obviously the last two. And he said for his legacy, he hopes he gets a couple more. But to do that, he is saying that the team is going to have to go all in and do what they got to do. And I'm excited to see what move they make, because you look at everybody else that was at the top of the entire offense, or the top of the end of the mountain almost. Everybody else kind of went all in. They're like, hey, this is our team. We're going for this thing. Except for the Packers. And he said they never will, though. It feels like they'll never will. And that's kind of what Ty has been saying, too, about that's not the way the Packers go. And TJ referenced whenever Ty Montgomery moved from wide receiver to running back, his 5 running backs got hurt. And instead of trading for a running back, they were like, oh, we'll just move. And he was good, by the way. He went on to be a running back. Yeah. But there was no thought of, like, trading for anybody. Is that kind of just known over there? Like, hey, there's a way of doing things over here at the Packers, and this is how it is?
Well, they're definitely the previous GM, Ted Thompson, who, RIP, obviously, he died recently. That was his kind of thing, I guess. His MO seemed to kind of build through the draft and do that kind of thing. But my first year, he brought in Charles Woodson. That's a heck of a free agent acquisition, I would say. So he would do that. Like a Charles, we went out and got Julius Peppers, who was awesome for a little while there too. So yeah, it's not like really exactly what they do, but also there's a new crew in town too up in the front office. So let's see what those guys do. There's no one stopping him, I think, if they want to go make a move.
Well, Gutekunst has come out and said that he doesn't think there's anything he could have done differently to put him in a position to maybe win a Super Bowl. Now, Gutekunst has been the target of a lot of, bullet shots that we have sent in this particular office, just because the way everything's been handled. And, Gutekunst, I'm sure he's a good guy.
I'm sure he is too.
I'm sure Gutekunst is a good guy, okay? But the thing about Brian Gutekunst as the acting general manager of the Packers is some of the decisions he makes is going to be judged because of the Lamborghini he has at quarterback. So it's like, hey, every decision you make now is going to be judged under the pretense that this guy is going to win you games by himself. Everything else you do around him is going to be how you're judged about how you create a Super Bowl winner. Now, NFC Championship contender, awesome. By the way, you have the guy, you have the quarterback that's going to get you in that situation. MVP probable this season, even though we've already named him the MVP. But him saying he couldn't have done anything differently, like, I look back on it, I do a lot of self-reflecting, really no regrets looking back at the draft last year, says Gunther. It's like, okay, the guy didn't dress for one game, all right, the first-round draft pick. You traded up to go get, by the way. You didn't have to. You just wanted to go get this person. You got to the same exact spot you got to last year. Is there no regrets? Are you content? Is he comfortable with where he's at? You would think like anybody would come out and say, you can always look back on blah, 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 like the way he... Now, granted, we are potentially taking his quote out of context, but, I mean, there had to have been something he could have done somewhere, right? I mean, a little bit differently if you didn't win the whole damn thing.
Well, don't you think he could just be trying to keep Jordan Love's confidence up, too, saying, like, what if he did come out and say, yeah, you know what? Probably shouldn't have drafted the quarterback we have in the first round. Probably could have got a wide out. Like, that's not going to bode well for really anybody there.
You're 100% right. I didn't even think about Jordan Love, to be honest, and that's on me, all right? Because this was not Jordan Love's fault. Jordan Love did not choose to trade up to draft him. Jordan Love is just a victim of circumstance in this particular situation. And that is interesting to kind of keep Jordan Love's mind at ease. You just piss off your entire fan base. That's a smart balance. That's an interesting balance. And by the way, only GMs understand that. Nobody else would understand that particular feeling. And you're right, that probably did cross his mind where he was like, yeah, could have got somebody on defense maybe. Could have not traded up, maybe traded elsewhere to get some other things. And now that we know that, DeAndre Hopkins was potentially on the market there for a little bit.
Trade back.
There's a lot of things that we could have potentially, but instead of saying that, Nah.
That was a championship football team.
No regrets, dude. Made the NFC Championship.
I mean, look at the wide receivers that were taken after Jordan Love, too. They really could. I mean, Claypool was a second rounder. T. Higgins, Brandon Ayuk was drafted at 31. I mean, they really could have added someone legit.
And by the way, this is no offense, obviously, to MVS and Lazard.
No.
Look at the Chiefs. They got 15 wideouts that are all good. All right, look at the Bucks. They got 15 wideouts that are all good. So good. Whenever you have LaFleur, who does seem to be an offensive wizard alongside Aaron Rodgers, by the way, when you have Aaron Rodgers, the more weapons, the more creative you can get, the more everything. I think that is what we have learned from this Kansas City Chiefs team. We used to think there's only one ball. There's only one ball, whatever, this is how we do it. It's like, not anymore. Now you need to be, it's an arms race at this point, it feels like, on the offensive side, if you have a quarterback that can make plays.
Well, that's the key. If you have a quarterback, if you have a Pat Mahomes, if you have Aaron Rodgers, because think if you have all those studs out there and you don't have a guy that can really get him the ball consistently, there's going to be an unhappy offensive meeting room, that's for sure.
That's going to be so uncomfortable, by the way. You're talking about Jordan Love feeling uncomfortable there with that conversation. Man, just like the ping pong table area.
Yeah.
A couple guys are playing. Quarterback walks up. Guys put the paddle down. Just walk into the room. This guy stinks. This guy. Throw me the fucking ball, pal. He's in the vicinity. Yeah, you're 100% right. But Aaron Rodgers is one of those guys. He missed what? He missed MVS.
Yeah.
But other than that, he puts it on everybody. I mean, it is not you. If you give him more options, no regrets, dude.
Well, and that's what my whole thing was. Is it's not, if you don't take a receiver, that's fine. I mean, you can get someone on the defense that you do need help there too. Like taking a quarterback, I mean, that pick is still indefensible. Like you can say whatever, but
what about Jordan Love's feelings?
I mean, I don't give a rat's ass about
Wow, this guy's an owner of the Packers. Come on.
I mean, I didn't want him to do it then. I saw it coming from pick 16. I saw 17, 18, 19. I knew the Packers were going to take him. I did. I mean, it's terrible. It's terrible.
Ty, what about to counter your point? Did you see today? I think it was on Get Up. Marcus Spears said that I'm glad. I think the Packers did the right thing taking Jordan Love because they're now look at the Pittsburgh Steelers, the situation they're in, trying to figure out who Ben's replacement is going to be when you know it's probably one more year for Ben. Well, he acts like they're in a tough spot.
Yeah, listen, Swagoo, shout out to Swagoo. That's an incredible take. Aaron's elbow seems to be in
exactly. He's still humming that son of a bitch. Yeah. I mean, humming it.
Now, granted, Aaron gets hurt. You're in trouble. But guess what? Tom Brady gets hurt. They're in trouble down there.
Mm-hmm.
Patrick Mahomes gets hurt. Chad Henne, okay, he's Chad Henne. All right, I get it, but they're in trouble. Obviously, whenever you lose an MVP, your team is going to look different. Like that's just, by the way, that's the NFL. Like injuries happen now. Ben Roethlisberger, I love Swagoo. Okay, I'm a big Marcus Spears fan. That particular reference is not an accurate one, I don't think, strictly because Tommy John and Ben Roethlisberger had a date for a few months. You know what I mean? Where he had to put his elbow back together. And also, I'm not sure Aaron had to cut a couple things cold turkey out of his life.
That's right. With all due respect to Ben, Aaron does take better care of his body.
I'd say. Even though this is the first time he worked out in the offseason.
Yeah. All due respect to Swagoo, he also didn't see that the news that Dewey Haskins was signed, obviously.
Yeah, the prince who was promised.
And the quarterback carousel every offseason now, you don't really have to draft a quarterback anymore.
Yeah, because there's going to be a great one coming probably. And by the way, if not, let's go be average for another year. There'll be another one coming here.
Yeah.
And then we can potentially put some trades together and let's go in. And I'm happy to see that the national narrative is starting to turn a little bit that, hey, who gives a fuck about draft capital? Now, listen, I know there's always going to be people that want to build through the draft and have a great scouting department. And there's GMs that have had a lot of success drafting. I mean, let's not. The Chiefs are good drafters, obviously. So I'm not saying that you don't have to have it, but I think the overreaction by people whenever draft picks are given up in exchange for a player that you know is going to be good has been so ridiculous for so long. It's like, how do you, like, for instance, the Lions get, 2 first-rounders and a third? Yep. That might as well be worth a fucking 15th round pick if they can't draft well. I mean, you have no idea. You have no clue. Whenever you get Matthew Stafford, it's like, okay, we know what this guy is. If he can stay healthy, he's played a long time, so he's had injuries, obviously, at that position, and it doesn't really seem to matter he can play. But he's going to be able to sling the rock. He's going to be able to figure out the defenses. He's going to be able to figure out the offense. We know that for sure. Instead of drafting old buddy from Bloomfield State, who's potentially going to be able to figure out how to tackle an NFL player. You have no idea. I think the draft is such a bigger question mark than people give it credit, and that's strictly because I think I've actually seen it, seen draft picks that are supposed to be incredible, and you watch them in college, are good, and then for whatever reason, it just never works out, or sometimes doesn't work out. It's just, if you can get a sure thing, get it, in my eyes. I'm not GM, never will be, but if you can get a guy instead of potentially getting guys, it's like, I'm always going to go with the real thing instead of the hope, pal. That's what I'm going to do, AJ.
Hey, do you think this could be the Rams, their path in the future, what they're going to do? I know they said that Matthew Stafford, their contract extension is not imminent. They're not he might not get an extension there. So he's got 2 years on his contract. Are they going to go 2 years Stafford and then be like, hey, is McVay going to look over to Green Bay? Like, hey, you want us to throw you a few 7 first rounders for Aaron to come over here for a couple years?
Hey, listen, you're going to love this 2029 first round draft pick. All right. We got 2031 available for you as well.
Oh, good year.
It's because allegedly McVay had to call the owner, Kroenke.
Yep.
He also owns the Denver Nuggets.
Wow.
The
Avalanche.
Colorado Avalanche.
And the Rockies, I think.
Arsenal Football Club as well.
Arsenal
How
Football.
do you keep track of all of this?
What's up, Bub?
How do you keep track of all these teams you own? I mean,
Listen, did you not hear D2W earlier with Terrell Davis? Driven to win, DeMarcus Ware's workout thing. Oh, I never felt better about my brain than in that moment. I actually celebrated. He did not even know that I celebrated in the middle of it.
Wait, what? You're saying that's going to help you own a bunch of different sports teams?
Forget it. We're talking about my brain being awesome. But anyways, a lot of compliments to me today. It's been very nice. It's been very, very nice. I participated in it as well. But I guess McVay had to call Kroenke and ask him, what are they going to do for the rest of the time? Hey, we could potentially 2029, 2028 package, first rounders, get them out of here. And Stan's like, are we going to win a Super Bowl this year? Yeah, well, who cares? We'll figure that out later. That really feels like they could potentially do that. And if it works, by the way, I hope others start picking up because it is awesome to talk about.
It's a bunch of fun. I guess it's up to Les Snead. He's the one that's going to take the fall or going to be the guy that gets all the credit. McVay will obviously get credit, but if it goes bad and this doesn't work, it's going to be tough for the GM, Les Snead, I guess, to come back from this.
If this doesn't work, okay, I would assume Les Snead and McVay will be gone, and we'll talk about how they are in a similar situation as the Houston Texans, and they'll figure it out somehow.
Hey,
but McVay's what's that?
I hate to cut you off, but what does not work out mean? Are you saying if they don't win the Super Bowl in the next 2 years, it doesn't work out? That means it's a failed trade?
I think so. I think they have to have an appearance I think they have to have an appearance, right? I think that is how they'll. Now, granted, Matthew Stafford, I don't think it's a failed trade. I think it's a good trade, no matter what. Good for Matthew Stafford. But I think they have to make an appearance, right, in the championship and in the Super Bowl. But if they don't do that and they both get fired, Snead and McVay will get $20 million a year calling Monday Night Football tomorrow if he wants it. You know what I mean?
Three-man booth. Whoever, I don't know who the play-by-play guy should be, but then Peyton and Sean McVay in the booth together. That's a three-man booth I think would be great.
Probably do very well if I had to get it.
And Snead already kind of messed up with the Cooks, Gurley, and Goff contracts, right? So even if this doesn't work out, is he really going to be out of a job?
Yeah, the guy seems to not do a lot of things that you have to do right. Good.
Yeah. Outside of Aaron Donald, too, I think he's missed like big time on a lot of those draft picks, which is why they're just fucking trading them away.
Bingo. We can't draft any. We can't scout anyways. We know the NFL a lot better, don't we, than college? Fuck, we're all the way out here in L.A. Who wants the traffic? Who wants to fly everywhere? We don't want to do that, right? We just want we'll watch film. We'll see who we like, and then we'll give them whatever they need to get that. I mean, I love it. I'm a big fan of what's that, Nick?
Well, the Lions just hired their new GM as was the player personnel director in
the college scouter. The director of college scouting is now the GM.
Oh no!
By the way, that's why the 2 firsts are a big deal. This guy knows the future.
2 firsts on the back half of the first round.
Late, hopefully, that would be a successful run for Matthew Stafford.
Yeah, I mean, we just got 2 new tight ends. That's what I see. Also, not enough people talking about how the Lions weren't scumbags in this thing. Stafford wanted to go to L.A., and we said, you know what? You've done enough for us, so we'll grant your wish. Here you go. You go to L.A.
Oh, that's what he said anywhere but New England.
Yeah. We wanted to go to L.A., though. You know, we didn't handle the Barry Sanders situation well. We didn't handle the Calvin Johnson situation well. So, Stafford, we did it right.
Dan Sileo did not say that.
No. Well, hold on. They did it right, though, because they got offered way more from them than anybody else, right?
No. It's not about that. It's all about the mindset, right? Because I guess Matthew already has a house in Los Angeles that is being reported.
I'm sure he does.
Next to Kershaw, best friend.
Of course, he wanted to go there. We know he wanted to play there, of course. But the Lions, you think if the Rams would have offered, hey, we'll give you 2/3 in 2 years from now, they would have given him up?
Hey, you never know, AJ.
They would have done the right thing.
They would have done the right thing.
Wow. Kind of debunks your entire bullshit theory you just cooked up over there. AJ and I sharpened our axes against each other last night.
How'd it go?
We played. Well, it was pretty good games.
Did Carl win one?
Carl won one.
What?
Really?
Wow.
He did. I was working.
Snuck one in.
Were you just were you just messing around or
No. AJ got the hang of it a little bit yesterday. He started sweating. He played in his kitchen instead of his basement. There was a little bit more room, it felt like.
They're fixing the drywall.
Ain't that right? AJ, you're getting better. You're getting good at the game.
Yeah, it was fun, man. It was fun battling you. And then all of a sudden, towards the end, I realized, yep, I'm at the point of diminishing returns. I'm going to check out.
Which, by the way, hold the line.
Hold
the line.
How's that all going?
I think everybody's losing their money mightily.
Crumbling.
I do believe Dogecoin's still going to the moon, but Billy has not been peacocking as much as he once was around. But I will say I'm proud of everybody that was involved.
Right on, boys.
I don't know how it's all going to work out. I don't know if any of you made any money or anything like that. But whenever you had to take a stand, whether it was money or your moral obligation to something, a lot of people chose the moral obligation that they probably could have just bought if they would have cashed out when they had the money, but still held the line whenever a lot of people didn't. So I respect a lot of those people, but I do believe a lot of people lost a lot of money. Yeah.
Seems like it. Yeah, going back to during your.
But hold the line.
Hold the line. Hold it.
Sorry, AJ.
For some reason, it just popped in my head when I was right before the show. They're playing your little Oculus stream event you did, and when Ty. I guess you were playing Billy, and Ty says, oh, Billy's got too much semen caked in his controller.
It's real.
Dude, AJ, Bill got it. That was an hour and 58-minute stream. Bill got it for what? 78 minutes.
Oh, no.
78 minutes. I mean, it was unbelievable.
Probably.
Yeah. It was rude.
You guys, I mean, you don't understand what you're messing with. You guys better back off.
What are you talking about? I have a great relationship.
I agree, by the way. Yeah, Ty had to send I apologize.
Yeah.
Said, hey, Bill, just joshing, dude.
Hey, if you cut your throat, he cut your throat. You know, that's business.
Oh, who are you? I mean,
me. I'm talking about, hey, if I look up and I see Bill with his mask on and his knives out, hey, it was a good run. I appreciate everything you guys did for me.
Yesterday it was the suicide by cop, right?
No,
Now
I
it's
said final
Bill-
stand.
I mean, Jesus Christ.
I said final stand. That situation was brought up by AJ.
Oh, yeah, I forgot he was a part of that bullshit. Yeah, I mean, AJ, that was partly on you. Let's go to Sean in Canada. What's going on, Sean?
What's up, boys? AJ? Pat?
Hey, pal.
Hey.
Gumpy, he said, hey, pal. What part of Canada are you in over there, Sean?
I'm in Ontario. I'm near Toronto.
Oh.
Beautiful up there.
Oh,
really, Gumpy?
That's not what Gumpy says, by the way. He hates Toronto, but that's not your fault, Sean. I assume you're a part of the good reason that Gumpy kind of likes other areas around Toronto. Ain't that right, Gumpy?
Absolutely, my friend.
Gumpy hates Toronto, though. I've never
Gumpy, where are you from?
Victoria, British Columbia.
Oh, that's my second home.
Yeah, it's beautiful out there.
That's quite well for
There you go.
himself.
It's beautiful out there, isn't it?
It is gorgeous.
Not better than Toronto.
You
though.
trolling for trim out there.
Trolling for everything out there.
Oh, that's what I've heard, by the way. I have heard about that area over there. What do you want to talk about, Sean?
Big Bucks fan up here in Ontario. And since Brady's got 1 year left on his contract and he thinks he can play for another 3 years, maybe, potentially, we need to look for his predecessor.
What are you, what are you going to do, Sean? We just talked about it. Sean, I agree with what you're saying, but we want to let you know that there's a new quarterback coming out every single year. New big one coming out. Free agency if you want.
Well, and when he's done, you think BA's also probably going to call it?
We probably need a new coach, too. Go ahead and hire Mike Pops Adams.
There you go.
Chicago Bears.
Bear done.
Maybe hire A.J. Hawk. Maybe Anthony Schlegel. Hire him.
MCDC will probably be up by then.
You think in 2 years, 3 years?
Yeah, after they go 2-15, 2 years in a row. Yeah,
Wow.
It might force them out.
Holy shit!
Look at what we just talked about. They got the director of college scouting from the Rams, who haven't had a good pick in, I don't know, few years, right? He's their GM.
Yeah, but the MCDC non-kneecaps, pal.
Jared Goff doesn't strike me as a kneecap kind of guy.
Yeah, he does seem like he would be more of a fillet type guy.
Calamari.
Very good, by the way.
Is it? Do we know?
Kyler Murray?
Pat, did someone
they're
make an
talking
announcement
calamari.
that we're moving to 17-game seasons to Connor?
Yeah, that's, by the way, we've had to start doing that whenever we start calculating for things. We do believe it's going to be a 17-game season next year or the year after that or whatever. So every time we talk about it, it actually makes us feel like we're much smarter than other people who potentially try to correct us on the internet. And they're like, too many games or whatever. It's like, really? Actually, look for it, pal. Look it up. How's there not an extra bye week there, you think? How'd the players let that happen without an extra bye week? You are anti-extra bye week, aren't you?
Yeah, I am. I would not want to extend the season. If you're going to have more games, I would. Yeah, I'm not a fan of adding bye weeks. I think they. I don't know. First off, if you're hurt, an extra 6 days is not going to make you healthy. It can make you feel a little bit better if you have like a nagging hamstring or rolled your ankle or whatever. Either way, like you can play through that most likely. And those 6 days aren't going to just make a giant leap for you.
But imagine week 4 all the way through week 18. Like that is, you know,
that's football, man. That's like when you were in college, you have bye weeks. They have bye weeks now.
Hey, the football is the football, dude.
Football, baby.
I understand like health and safety and all that, and I agree.
No.
You do. Bye weeks are good for teams. Sometimes you're really banged up, yes. But whenever you start to play any sport as a kid, you play because you're like, I want to get to the games. Let's go play games. And I felt like that my whole life, even when I was older. Like, hey, no, I don't want to have 12 days of practice in between this. Like, no, we're not going back to training camp. Let's just keep this thing rolling.
All right, I respect that. Did you think that 17 games was ever going to get passed?
I don't care. Probably, yeah. Well, like with the money, with the TV deals, we know that's what it's about. So yeah, it should. I'm a fan of it passing because then there's more football for us to watch.
Okay, bingo. Me too, by the way. I am very, and I was very pro. Like, hey, more football is good for everybody. Add an extra week or two. Let's go ahead and have it. And you
You got to pay them though. On top, you got to pay them on top of that. You can't just spread their checks out one more week.
Oh yeah, it has to just match a game check, one more game check. But then the salary cap's going down. How? Oh shit! How's that going to be accounted for? That's why they're coming out and saying guarantees will be guarantees no matter what. And then they're like, but also extra game you're playing. Same.
Might not get paid
Start
for
paying
it.
Dogecoin.
Play more, pay same, huh? Play more, pay same. Deal? You got a deal? No COVID. Let's get to Lucas in Denver. What's going on, Lucas? Because the spit.
Oh, not much. Just throwing some vitamins out here. How you doing, Pat?
Hey, doing the same damn thing over here, Lucas. What do you want to talk about, pal?
So with the Oculus, you've convinced me to get one. I'm wondering about the motion sickness, how long it took you to get to where you could play about 2 hours a day. And also one more question for AJ. I want to know, why is no one showing any love to Shaquille Barrett? He's going to go off in the Super Bowl.
Okay, Lucas. We talked about Shaquille Barrett right now, plus 5,000 for Super Bowl MVP. Jason Pierre-Paul, plus 10,000 to win MVP. With the Kansas City Chiefs offensive line banged up. You know, they are banged up. They had a torn Achilles there in the AFC Championship game. Not that it matters because the offense can do what it can do. But Jason Pierre-Paul has been a problem for some teams. Look for him to potentially do that in the Super Bowl. And if he gets, 3 sacks or something like that, maybe a strip, there's a chance that's plus $10,000 bet that you should just think about poking around in on FanDuel. Shaquille Barrett is an absolute baller. He's at plus 5,000. He does make a lot of plays out there, AJ.
Yeah, he and Pierre-Paul, I mean, the NFC Championship game, they wouldn't have won if those guys didn't hit 5 combined sacks, I believe, and a lot of pressure. I think how those guys on opposite edges, I talk about all the time, like being complementary pass rushers. Like, I think they work beautifully together. They're both so explosive, too. And, Pierre-Paul, like, a guy that's that big and he's that long, like, he should not be able to move like he does. But the guy can still do it, and he's been doing it forever.
Yeah, he's incredibly...
Remember his hand? Everyone forgets about the fireworks.
No, these guys
Nobody
didn't,
forgets
obviously. Obviously, the toxic table did not. While you were talking there, they were just making hand signals that were...
It's the AJ hand.
Oh, dude.
It has the club on it, doesn't it?
All right.
He's got the custom glove.
All right.
I thought he played with the club.
By the way, that could have been me.
So many passes.
That could have been me numerous times, by the way. Indiana has very relaxed firework laws. Pennsylvania had very strict fireworks laws. So growing up, people would have to drive to Ohio. They were like the hero of the neighborhood. They would come back embezzling fireworks, and then you put it off on 4th of July. It was always like the coolest thing ever for me. You come to Indiana, I have a shit ton of money now all of a sudden and access to it. That first 4th of July, I bought the entire store. Because they have like pop-up stores where these people, they pay a certain amount for all their fireworks. They rent out just like the Halloween costume stores. And then they sell it in there. I bought the entire store. And boy, I learned some nice tricks with those fireworks. You can light the big bombs on fire, the ones that actually blow up, and you can hold it. Hold! And then you throw it into a pond. And if you time it properly, it'll blow up in the pond. And it's like this beautiful, like crescendo of sparkles over the
lit
thing.
fountain almost.
It's awesome. It is incredible. And once you do it one time, you kind of should not do that, though. And I thank Jason Pierre-Paul for that. The next time I was thinking about hucking it into the old neighbor's pond there, to kind of get a show for myself. As soon as I went to light it, I was like,
JPP.
Need these.
Can't do it.
Could happen to anybody. When Pierre-Paul did it, it made me run back in my brain the numerous times that I've almost blown my hand off. I should probably just take a pass on fireworks from now on.
Yeah, it's one of those things where I was in them heavy there for a bit because it was available. You're talking about the
Roman candle
fights. It was we had my brother and I. Jay, were you there? Were you a part of the Roman candle fight?
You burnt my jersey, the one.
Allegedly.
Damn. Whoa, accusation.
Sprinting around the house with this Roman candle thing outside. Like the neighbors had to be like, what the fuck? Me and my brother are chasing each other. Boom. Come on. Boom. The whole thing. Yeah. I got this one heavy one. Ooh. Had like 100 in it, and that thing was going... You know what I mean? That was always fun whenever you start a Roman candle where everybody gets 5. All right, here we go. Everybody gets 5. Get your own. And then I walk right back into the garage and grab the fucking Gatling gun. It's 5 together. It was always good. And then a whole fire starts. Yeah, so I was always big. I was in the... Jason Pierre-Paul changed the trajectory probably of my. And I enjoyed the hell out of it. I would hold him. I mean, a lot of it. And I won't do it no more. You know? And by the way, shout out to him.
Yeah.
Probably saved a lot of people from doing that.
Yeah.
You should not do it. And he's still an incredible football player.
You got an Oculus Olympics career to think about now. You need these things.
Yeah, an old buddy said, and by the way, they have Velcro thing, though. I think it could have.
Oh, really?
It's almost like Avatar now that I think about it.
Oh, yeah. I think you're good.
Whoa.
There's a couple games where you look down and you see your hands. Imagine if you're somebody with no hands, you put on the Oculus thing and all of a sudden you got two.
God.
It's probably Jacob Sully in the Avatar thing. I got my legs back.
Yeah.
Good for them. That would be
these
awesome. And that guy said, how long does it take to get past the motion sickness? It depends on what game. I can't play some of the games still. I played for 2 hours the other day, ping pong. I had the worst headache I've ever had in my entire life tonight. So I'm not sure I'm at the state where I could tell you how to not potentially feel affected by it. I just hope that the body reacts. I just hope the body reacts at this point.
Don't you think it probably depends on which game you're playing? I've only played the ping pong and boxing, and I have the weakest baby stomach ever. Where if I'm in a car and I look down at my phone, I'm gonna be puking. Like I get car sick. I get sick all the time on planes.
Blue
and
Angels.
I've never played for 2 hours straight, but I'm fine playing.
You haven't played any of those other games where it's like 2:30, 3 a.m., you're a little bit twisted, and you have to put your foot on the ground to hopefully, rebase yourself. You haven't played any of those games that have caused you to do that yet? Because there's this roller coaster game where you're supposed to have a gun and you're supposed to shoot and everything like that. And I'm riding this thing, and it actually says on the cart in the thing, it's like, if feeling sick, stare here, and it's like a target or whatever to take your attention away. And you look at it, but then the roller coaster's going up this massive hill. It's like, well, I go, and then you go, and it was jumping and twisting, and I had to take it off, and I put it down, and I went and laid down. That was like a 30-second little burst there where I thought I was going to vomit all over my house. But the ping pong and the fighting, I never experienced that. I never experienced that in there. Unless you have it on, I guess, for 2 hours straight, then it's a little bit of a problem. Got to think about.
Assuming when you storm the beaches at Normandy in that game as well, you probably get a little bit sick.
Yeah. There's a football game Nick introduced me to that's awesome. You can draw up plays and throw it, and I didn't get sick playing that either. It's awesome.
I'm still exploring. I'm trying to see what else is out there that I might like.
This is all so much free ads for them.
Man.
But they deserve it, dude. They created something
great
that's really
product.
awesome.
Incredible.
It is really awesome.
So fun.
I'm very thankful for it. We got to get to a what's that?
I know you're going to a break, but has Ty and anyone the boys like researched? I would imagine there's people trying to hack the system and make like their own I don't know, some nefarious games where they could indulge themselves.
Okay, there is with the toxic you're talking about, I believe.
Oh, is that porn?
Because there's a lot of those.
That is what he's talking about. He's talking about a porn game though, I think, right?
Yeah, what are we talking about, AJ?
Yeah, like someone, doing trying to create like a Demolition Man style porn. Like have you seen the movie back in the day?
Oh, it's out
Let's
there.
get to a break.
That'd be sweet. I'd play that.
Yeah. Pizza be sold separately.
Tush.com.
Tushy.
We gotta get to a break, dude. This show is so fucking bad.
You think Big Ben has that?
This is Super Bowl Tuesday. Back on the other side with phone calls 1-888-MAD-DOG-6. Ryan Fitzmagic will be joining us at about 2:55, which is as we go off the air on Sirius. That conversation will continue. YouTube.com/The Pat McAfee Show. And then we'll wrap up this incredible Tuesday and send the Sirius listeners into Chris Mad Dog Russo and us into whatever conversation happens with Ryan. We appreciate you all. We'll see you on the other side. This is the Pat McAfee Show with AJ Hawk on the phone. No, on the FaceTime. No, via satellite. This is the Pat McAfee Show with AJ Hawk via satellite.
This is Remember the Titans.
How's it going? My name is Pat McAfee. I do a lot of things. Today I am a professional analyst getting ready for the Thursday night football opener in beautiful Nippert Stadium with the Cincinnati Bearcats here at Higher Ground. This secluded world. Good squad, good place. Excited for this morning practice. I'm obviously unbiased, but I'm pulling hard for Cincinnati to do well on Thursday night.
I like to say, only clipboard quarterback, man.
kicker. Let's see what you got.
This is great for the brand. This guy's an athlete. Athlete.
Hey, let's go. Let's go. Hey, my goodness. They say kickers are athletes. We'll find out. Let's go. Pull it up. Heads up. Heads up.
Popping on the west side, this is my stage.
Hey, I appreciate that. Thank you so much for hospitality. Have a great day. Let's go get it. 3, 1, 2, 3.
Going in, I'ma close the case. I can't wait no more, man. I gotta blow today. I'ma blow today. I ain't hearing what they say. Need a blue face. I've been caring about the race. I've been trying to eat. I need more than just a taste. Now they trying to talk. Oh no, they should know their place. Man, I'm ballin'. This ain't cap, baby. Now I feel like calling. From the O, but I got the music poppin'. All the time, man, it started get obnoxious. Now I gotta drive, yeah, I'm feeling nauseous. Gotta drive top down, then I hop out. I've been feeling hot now.
Thank you.
Okay, let's after.
Yeah, you got it.
Appreciate you coming.
Thank you. This has been so cool to see. Whenever we were driving out here into the sticks, my boys and I from Indianapolis, we were told by Coach Fickle it was a 40-minute drive from where we live. Absolute lie, hour and a half out here. But as we were getting out here, we didn't know what we were going to show up to. And this is such a cool scene here. I remember whenever I was in college, we won a lot of games, beat Cincinnati a couple times. It was a great day. But I remember my boys, right? Like I still am in touch with them every single day, every single week. We had this moment where we went from boys to become men. And you guys were a really young team last year, but got to experience a lot of wins. Like now the expectation level are high. And I can't wait to talk you all up on Thursday night against UCLA. UCLA refused to respond to my tweet. So I am a Bearcat fan on that opening night, and I cannot wait to watch you guys dominate. And I think this is such a cool thing. Coach, I can't thank you enough for your hospitality. I got a bunch of swag from you guys, too. This has been a cool day. Enjoy this, though. This doesn't happen a lot. Even when you get into the NFL, it's not like college. It's not like your boys. It's not like this. It's a whole different world that you'll remember forever, and I was honored to be here to watch you today, and I can't wait to watch you guys go win the thing on Thursday night and then throughout the rest of the season. Thank you so much.
Welcome back from your bathroom break. This is the Pat McAfee Show. Here's Pat.
That's good. That is good.
Not bad.
That's a good one. Did you hear that? She watched the show.
Surprise, yeah.
New bumpers, dude.
All right.
Those are called bumpers in the biz.
Mm-hmm.
Don't know if you know that, AJ.
Nope, had no idea.
All right, now we play a game. I don't know if you're being serious or not right there.
Yeah, I don't either.
Okay.
Did you know what a fucking bumper was or not?
Yes, I do. Sorry.
See, that was not something I knew existed until I started doing this show here, and then it was put right on my computer here to say, this is a bumper here. I didn't know what a bumper was because there's rejoin bumpers, then there's extendo entertaining bumpers. There's so many different bumpers that I did not know exist until this show. We got new bumpers today. Hashtag PMS bumpers. Let us know how you feel about it.
I thought they were buffers.
People are buffering, which is something that you guys need to stop talking about. All right?
What?
What you guys are always talking about earlier.
Buffering?
Let's take some phone calls, shall we, AJ?
Let's do it.
Let's go to Austin in Bakersfield, California. What's going on, Austin?
Not much, Brad. How you boys doing?
Hey, not too shabby. Austin, what do you want to talk about?
Last night with LeBron and Juliana, what do you think Savannah would have done if she stepped in and tried to knock some heads or what?
Great question. Is that LeBron's
Savannah's his wife?
Yeah.
LeBron's wife? Mm-hmm. I would say that I would always team with LeBron James and his wife in a fight against a fan and a fan's wife.
Have you seen?
But, excuse me, Zito.
Sorry.
Jesus. Jeez. Don't just step all over it. Obviously, I have seen Daddy Carlos. I mean, god damn. Daddy Carlos makes me have a second guess, though. You know what I mean? Have you seen this guy alongside his wife, Juliana? The reason why we're showing the photo on the right is it is rather pivotal to the conversation that we're having here because the only audio you could hear from LeBron in all the videos that were recorded on courtside there was, "Oh, steroid ass," LeBron said to Daddy Carlos. So that is why, by the way, I don't know if he's on steroids or not. I do know Daddy Carlos packs in the time in the gym. He earns that. But he and Juliana got kicked out last night. I would still go with LeBron and his wife, obviously, but Daddy Carlos made me reconsider for a second or two.
So who is this guy? He looks like what's the one guy's name who dances on Instagram? The old dude is ripped up too.
That's what I said. The Italian guy.
The guy with the white hair, right?
Yeah.
He's all jacked up. He's on boats all the time.
Yeah. This is not him, obviously, right?
Yes, that's not him.
It's not Daddy Carlos.
Oh.
By the way,
what'd they get ejected for?
Well, it was allegedly people were saying, "Bitch, you bitch."
Yeah.
No, you a bitch. Nope, you a bitch. Don't be talking to, because you a bitch and you a bitch, and then you're out. I guess that's how it went allegedly. That was a lot of fire over there, and where there's smoke, there's fire. I think this will not be the last we see of courtside Karen, also known as Juliana Carlos, and her husband, Daddy Carlos, who paid a lot of money to be there.
Yeah, to get kicked out, I mean, that's a lot. How many people were in the
10.
arena?
There was 10 people there.
Yeah. Seems like LeBron's a crybaby.
No, he said, I don't think they should have been kicked out.
Hey, I didn't make the decision.
I don't think it warranted them being kicked out.
LeBron said he didn't want him kicked out.
I'm sure.
LeBron was just upset that they were able to drink and he couldn't have any wine while he played.
Oh, maybe. Hey, maybe.
That's probably what it was.
Let's keep this. He said he did have a couple beverages or whatever.
Alcoholic beverages.
Daddy Carlos, dude. Let's go to Bick in Vancouver. What's going on, Bick?
How's it going, boys?
Is it like Bick the pen?
Yeah, with a K, though. Jesus, I got to live up to that. But, yeah, Kevin Hart made a movie where he was, like, big in there, too. And I'm kind of short. He's short, so it wasn't a great movie.
It's a great movie, actually. Yeah, it's a pretty good movie.
It was all right.
Yes, man. Yeah.
But anyways, man, thank you for taking the call. I've been trying for like 18 days in a row. But,
Oh, Bick. Hi, Bick. Thanks for getting through, Bob. Great to hear from you. What do you want to talk about?
Talk about anything. I'm working from home and I'm calling from a work cell, so I was hoping no one would call me. That's important enough.
What do you do?
To hang up on this call.
What do you do for a living, Bick?
Boring. It's like HR stuff.
Oh, H&R. Okay. Handle business for people. Is it for what type of business do you do?
No. It's HR. I work for a health authority. So when nurses and stuff get injured, dealing with the unions and all that stuff is what I do.
Shit. Vaccines and COVID's probably big problems up there in the H&R department in Canada, huh, Bick?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
But, yeah, I want to talk about the dude who said Andy Dalton to the Pats. Come on. A ginger can't take all the bitching Bill's going to give him.
Whoa.
Call HR on that guy.
That's an HR
Jeez.
problem. That guy's an HR nightmare.
Yeah, big.
Bill bitches.
What's the deal with Canada?
Scumbags, dude. I told you.
What's with this guy using his work phone for personal usage?
Well, and then also, I mean,
That's
and
an
also,
HR violation in itself.
Yeah, is he Oliver Luck over there?
somebody need. Oh, jeez. That cost him a lot of money.
Yeah.
They're still in courts. I'd assume that's going to never end because what, $25 million at stake or whatever. But that was a wild scene there. You remember that, AJ?
Oh yeah, of course. He's still fighting it. I don't see Vince being the guy that's just going to all of a sudden settle just to get rid of it.
Yeah, I don't think so either. I think this is potentially this one's going to go. And by the way, I don't think Oliver Luck will either. I think this is potentially two meeting of pretty powerful over $25 million. I mean, I believe that was the price that everybody came out through the bankruptcy and a lawsuit and everything like that. We'll see how that plays out. I mean, that one might last years and years and years of conversation.
Might cost $25 million just to.
Oh, for sure. But I think that is something both sides, inevitably, if they get to that point, will be like, worth it. Let's go.
Yeah.
What's that, Foxy?
When's The Rock starting his league?
Yeah. Well, he's working harder than anybody else on earth. He's working harder than Jerry Jones is right now.
That's right.
Robert Kraft right now. Jim Irsay, the Rooney family, and definitely them Browns over in Cincinnati.
Yeah.
I mean, he's working harder than anybody. I don't know when that thing starts. There's a fan-controlled football league starting soon.
Yes, there is.
That's going to stink.
Whoa.
Sorry, that's just my early read on it, is that it's probably going to blow, and I'm not going to watch it.
Jeez Louise, dude.
MAC football, high school football, fan-controlled league football.
It'll be fun.
You're just playing Madden?
What does it mean, though? What do you mean fan controlled?
We honestly have no idea. We have not looked into it further. There are a couple players in there that are involved that we do enjoy as humans, though. So I think we'll obviously follow it or whatever. But
Marshawn's an owner.
Yeah, exactly. Marshawn's in there. Richard Sherman's in there. Johnny Manziel, I guess, just checked into training camp or whatever. So we have our eye on it. I just don't know exactly what it is. I think this is the type of thing that's been pitched for like the last 5 years. I'm not 100% sure. I kind of heard about it, where people go on an app and they'll vote for what the next play call is.
Yeah, no thanks.
And like you do, I'm not sure if that's what this is, but this is an idea that's been pitched for a long, long time. I think they're actually going to do it, and maybe it'll be good. Who knows? There's a strong chance of no, but I mean, maybe there's a chance it survives and creates some great content.
7-on-7, 50 yards. 50-yard fields.
Is there going to be gambling on it? Is it regulated enough?
It seems like it's going to be held on Twitch. 1 hour games. That's basically only information. No kicking or special teams. So
it's Mickey Mouse. Yeah. It's 7-on-7 on a 50-yard field.
It's horseshit.
Yeah.
Is it indoor? Like
it is indoors, yeah.
Football?
And do the fans get to drop the rots, or they just get to say pass or run, and then the coach?
Yeah, the picture, it looks like you're playing blitz.
Oh, so
if that helps you out.
So you can pick the actual plays.
Yeah, it looks like they give like 4 plays, and you get to pick the next one.
Hey, by the way, you have more control. I'd like to say you have more control in this virtual reality game that we downloaded, where you actually get to the dry erase board and draw with your Sharpie. Ooh. Oh, no, your dry erase marker, not Sharpie. Your dry erase marker a play, and then you lock that in with one of your controls, and you have 4 plays that you get to go out there and run and play, and your quarterback. And
that's awesome.
It is. It is very awesome. I assume I'll probably do that potentially while these games are going on, but I will give this thing a rating because I hope a lot of the guys in there have success.
Yeah, see, they should scrap the league and just have Marshawn Lynch go in and do that, and that would be 1,000 times more entertaining.
I do agree.
Yeah.
But we have not seen any of it yet.
Yeah. Maybe you should start the VFL, the Virtual Football League, in there.
I don't know if you can play defense, can you? You only play quarterback, and then you just kind of get the ball back. And they give the other team some points or not.
We'll leave that to AJ to figure out. He's the defensive side of the ball.
Anyways, fan-crazed football, dude. Is that what it's called?
Fan-controlled football.
FCF, yeah.
There it is.
It's fan-controlled football?
Yes.
So.
It's not fan-crazed?
No, they should have went with that.
They are crazed.
All right, let's go to Daniel over there in Jordan in Virginia. What's going on, Virginia?
Yo, how's it going, boys?
We just learned about fan-crazed football. Cannot wait to watch it. Just talked about it a little bit. Excited for that. Also, we got Ryan Fitzmagic in about 5 minutes. Can't wait to have a conversation. Woo! What's going on with you, Jordan?
Can't wait for Ryan Fitzpatrick to come on. Just want to say go Hokies and go Jets. But I want to talk about Deshaun Watson coming to the Jets potentially.
Jordan.
Yeah.
Are you near where Virginia Tech's campus is?
I am on campus right now, actually.
Oh, my. What was the name of the saloon we went to in the hills of Virginia whenever we went to Virginia Tech?
I don't know.
Hey.
Oh.
Hey, it is. I had no idea. That was where I learned about Copperhead Road. Like, hey, when Copperhead Road comes on, look the fuck out. Everybody from town is sprinting to the dance floor, and Copperhead Road line dance is about to pop off everybody in there. We had a blast in that time.
That was so much fun.
Deshaun Watson to the Jets. You like it or hate it?
I mean, I don't know. I'm not sold that Sam Darnold's not your guy. I think I would give Sam a chance with the new regime.
I heard Sam's potential coming to Colts down there.
Ooh. Yeah. I like Sam, man. I liked him coming out of the draft. I don't know if he's going to develop into the NFL QB people think he could be, but I'm not all out on Sam like some people are.
Okay, let's say you're Bob Salah.
Yep.
Congrats on the job, by the way, Bob.
Thank you.
Thank you. Oh, yeah, you are Bob. You were acting like you're Bob. Congrats on the job, Bob.
Thank you.
Joe Douglas, the GM. He was here. He basically hired to clean up the mess. Just got out of the mess in Philadelphia. You two are having good conversations. Do you want to start anew, or do you want to have potential layover from the previous regime as your starting quarterback and potential face of your franchise?
Man, I mean, obviously you would love to have Deshaun Watson if you're Bob Salah in your first year. But knowing what it would take to get him, I would be okay sitting back if I'm Bob Salah and saying, you know what, I'd want to sit down and talk to Sam and go through his whole year with him and see what he's feeling, like watch film with him and see what he's looking at and how he talks through the game. And then I would most likely say, hey, man, I want you to succeed here. I want to put everything in place for you to succeed. And I'm going to do whatever I can for that.
John Gruden did that with quarterbacks coming out of college. You know, they sat down and went through an entire play or two and, talk about it and design it. But that's that's Sam Darnold having to get re-interviewed, by the way, for a job. He's going to have to go through like the combine type stuff again at these new places. This is what happens, by the way, when a new regime comes in, not just at the quarterback position, it's at everybody's position. You kind of got nothing you did previously matters. I mean, I was literally told I didn't draft you, so there's really no ties here, basically. So that's really how it's viewed. And we only talk about the quarterbacks and the star players and everything like that. But the rest of that entire team is like, all right, nothing we have done matters to anybody now. Everybody's getting reevaluated. And that can keep that thing fresh. You know what I mean? That's a good feeling to have, kind of reprove yourself no matter how old you are. But boy, what if everybody gets fired and then they just miss on everybody that they bring in, then you just stink again for another 2-3 years? It's just, there's a chance that could happen everywhere that has a new coach. For instance, the Detroit Lions.
Yeah. Oh, boy.
This could be catastrophic.
It could be.
Can it be worse than the Patricia era, though?
Yes, it could. Let me tell you why. Let me tell you why it could be worse than the Matt Patricia era. And by the way, Matt Patricia was very nice to us.
He was.
Hey, Matt Patricia doesn't necessarily deserve, personally good guy, but it was bad there. Right now, there's people saying that the Detroit Lions fleeced somebody else in a decision off the Detroit Lions won this trade. Yeah. So there's a lot of promise. There's a lot of hope. There's a new culture that's being built in again. You know what I mean? Matt Patricia didn't come out and say, hey, I'm going to be able to rally any group of men to go into war. And by any group of men, my type of men that I want to bring in here and eat kneecaps. Like Matt Patricia didn't say that. There's a lot of promise and hope. We got a lot of picks. We got the director of college scouting from the Rams. I mean, there's a lot of hope. And there's a chance, I guess, that this could go bad. I mean, Motor City Dan Campbell's around. I don't think it's going to go that bad. All right? Let's not get crazy here. But it could go very, very bad. And that's because of the miss on draft picks and such.
Yeah, that's the definition of the Lions, though, to be honest with you.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to wrap up here on Sirius while talking to a man who is an absolute NFL legend.
Oh, yeah.
Okay? A guy who has been a quarterback for, I think, 34 of the 32 NFL teams at this point. That's right. Goes in, plays great football, living legend. We're going to start talking to him. It will cut off and go to Chris Mad Dog Russo with Mad Dog Unleashed. His show will be much better than ours, we promise. The conversation with Ryan Fitzmagic will continue at youtube.com/The Pat McAfee Show. Our time allotted on this channel is ending, but we had an opportunity to chat with this legend, so we're never going to pass that up. Chris Mad Dog Russo show will be better than this one, we promise. But joining us now is a man that you've seen play for your favorite team no matter where you are in the United States of America. A guy who is beloved by all football fans. He has the mind of a Harvard man, but the heart of a plumber. He will run himself into a fan if that means his team will win. Here on behalf of Main Event, an incredible family fun center, Ryan Fitzpatrick. Hey, you're halfway in, halfway out. There we go. Yep.
It's a Harvard man right there.
Your hair looks amazing. What did you do? This is a blow dry, hair dry situation to the beard and the hair. You look fantastic.
Thank you. I also I've got to brush the chest hair now too, but this is the natural hair right here. I'm about to go to Empire Barbershop, get my hair chopped off, but the beard will stay for sure.
Okay, let's talk about Main Event. There's a big deal going on Sunday. There's Super Bowling event going on over there, if you want to talk about it a little bit.
Oh, they're Super Bowling, baby, and you see this bowling ball in the background. So they sent me this. That's
a 20-pounder.
Yeah, that's an AJ ball there. My camera's all messed up. Let's see.
Hey, you get the right oil patterns with that, Ryan. I mean, we're talking 280 plus, 300, turkey after turkey after turkey.
We got a real chance. But so Main Event's doing a deal on Sunday. Their Super Bowling event. $5.55 for Super Bowl 55. An hour per player, and it's going to be great. I mean, it's one of the only places where I could bring my family where people don't look at us funny because there's plenty of space and plenty of stuff to do. But good drinks, good food, and should be a good time for all.
I've learned there's some laser tagging in most main events. Whenever you go in there, find a perch and snipe people all day. I can't wait for the Super Bowling event on Sunday. Ryan, thank you for joining us. Can we talk about the year that was down there in Miami?
Let's talk about it. What do you need to know?
All right. You became a relief quarterback that we've never had in the NFL before. What a situation to come off of the bench cold. Hey, need it, gotta have it, get your ass in there and go do it. It's like Mariano Rivera coming out of the outfield this entire thing. What was your mindset this year while that was happening? And is your body at this point just always warm and ready to go in critical situations?
Oh, it's always loose, baby. One of the things, and I literally have been, when I've been backup, I've been starter, but the way that I practice is I never really warm up, and that way I'm kind of always ready. And so you think about it, and for you, I know kickers and punters are always over there banging balls on the sideline, but I literally am just standing there as the backup. It's a cardinal sin if you're the backup to start warming up on the sideline if your number hasn't been called. And so you're literally standing around for 2.5 hours, and then coach is like, "Hey, go in there and win the game for us." And it's a role that I accepted this year. I'm happy to be out there on the field playing. And but the ending of the Las Vegas game this year was pretty crazy, but it was a lot of fun.
I'd say.
Have you ever been in a game as the starter and you see someone, a quarterback like your backup, warming up, and they didn't tell him to warm up? Like, what do you throw your helmet at him? How do you address that?
Yeah, there's a conversation that has to be had at that point. And it's something I try to teach guys as they come into the league too. We had a younger guy, Reed Sinnett, this year, great dude. And I just, on the sideline, we're standing there. I said, "Look, this is something that you never do. You never sit here and warm up," because, inevitably the backup quarterback is the most popular man in the city. And unless, you're behind an Aaron Rodgers or a Patrick Mahomes, they're always, coming for the head of the starter, and the backup's always the most popular guy until he has to play, and they figure out why he's the backup.
So then as soon as you start warming up, obviously the whole city's like, "Here we go, we got a shot," and you're immediately dumping on the starter at that point.
Yeah, exactly. And it's not a good look for anybody.
Let's talk about your relationship with, obviously, Tua. There's been some really cool mic'd up moments that have come from this season. And I think it was Denver maybe, or you were talking to Tua basically about how, like, hey, some games, like, it's not going to look as open. Like 1-2, you got to let that thing go. Was it just a year full of that type of thing? You two were always right next to each other because it was a very interesting situation, obviously, with how it all played out, the whole thing. But there was a lot of moments, I think, from mic'd up and maybe even on camera that, like, how was that relationship alongside of him? And was it just a year of him trying to be a sponge? And how did you have to handle that, knowing that it's not your job to coach somebody, but you have to be a good teammate as well?
Yeah, I mean, I've had so many people that have been great to me that I definitely want to pay it forward, and I definitely embrace and take pride in, the guys that I'm trying to teach, whether I'm behind them or I'm, playing and trying to show them the way. But Tua was a guy that was willing. I think that's the first thing, and is guys have to be willing to ask questions and willing to learn, and he did a good job with all that. It's hard to come in and play quarterback in this league, especially as a rookie, and he came in and did a great job. But tons of great questions. I've learned so much in my career, and still every year I'm trying to figure it out. But it was a great year of experience for him, and look forward to big things in the future for him.
Hey, what about your head coach down there, Brian Flores? Like, he comes from a long time in New England, but then you hear, like, he has this stoic face, but I saw he was going after another team. You guys had a little scuffle, and Flores is out there trying to fight people. I know players like to rally around it. He seems like he has a good mix of, like, that Patriot type demeanor, but he also, like, isn't scared to show his personality.
Yeah, and I think, last year was a big learning experience for him, being a first-time head coach and trying to figure out who he was as a coach. And, it wasn't easy. Everybody was talking about the tank job, and we were sitting at 0-7. But there was a distinct change for him about halfway through the year, and he really just decided to be himself and him just embrace, his own personality and have us as players kind of play like that, play like he coached. And, he did a great job. And this year, I think in a challenging year for everybody with COVID and everything else that was going on, he really showed great leadership qualities. And to take a team that lost by, I don't know what it was, 100+ points in the first two games he ever coached as a head coach, and to go 10-6 this last year, he's doing a great job and has the Dolphins on the right track.
Well, I'll tell you what. You got Fitzmagic on the goddamn roster. It's going to be tough to lose games. It'll be tough to tank when you got the Magic Man under center. Hey, I'm reading a stat here. It's true. We've said that. I don't know if you've heard that, by the way. That was our entire take on the tank season was they're not trying hard enough to tank. You wouldn't have Ryan Fitzmagic at quarterback. That's just not the guy that does it. But I'm reading a stat here. Started for 8 teams, which is the most in NFL history as a quarterback, obviously, in your 16-year career, and you're a free agent. Where's the mindset at right now? There's some teams. This quarterback market is insane. You're a free agent. You've played great football. Still 16 years into this thing. The beard looks like it's in phenomenal shape. The hair seems to only be getting better and better. Where's your mindset at? What are you thinking right now?
Well, this offseason, and we already saw it with Goff and Stafford, obviously. Who knows what's going to happen with Deshaun? There's rumors everywhere in the quarterback market, but there's a lot of teams that are looking, for a new quarterback or quarterbacks. So, for me personally, I have to take every offseason now and just reassess. And I know, these last 2 years have really relit that fire under me, and I still want to play, and I enjoy being out there playing. So things are a little bit more complicated for me now with my oldest going into high school and 6 little ones trailing behind him. So, there's a lot of thought that has to go into this thing, but I still love playing the game.
We have to go back, and AJ, I apologize here. I have to ask about this. Whenever it was announced, I would assume the rollout of the announcement of Tua being the starter did not go how anybody planned it to go, I would assume. And now I'm not in the conversations then, but kind of the days that followed or the day that followed after Tua was announced as a starter, and with what you just said about relighting like the fire in you to play, is that why it was that we saw that Zoom press conference where you were like back really, that team, by the way, you were on a 4-game win streak, I think at that point, seemed like the team was rolling, and then the announcement was made, and I don't know if they had planned for the bye week or not, but that press conference of you, we were sad. You were one of the most beloved players of all time. In that press conference after Tua was announced to start, we were like bummed out for you. Now, granted, you took it as a professional and moved forward, but is that why that day was so difficult, because of how much you were like, you felt like you were all the way back again, like the love and everything?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of it was just, how much you put into it and invest. And, for me, even the season before and the adversity and all the hardships we went through, it just hurt. And one of the great things being an older player, an established player, is you now get to say whatever you want and however you feel. You don't have to do the veiled BS and the company lines. And, that's something that's refreshing, is just being able to kind of speak my mind and tell it how it is and put my emotions out there. And that's how I was feeling that day. And I don't know if that's what they wanted me to say or not, but that's what I wanted to say, because that's how I felt. And, I think it came across as genuine.
Let's go! Yeah! We're sad, though. We were bummed for you.
I think everybody was. But when do you think you got to that moment where you felt like you could just say what you want and feel comfortable? Because I thought we talked about it on the show after you made those comments. I was like, man, that's amazing. Like a guy in his position being vulnerable, showing like, hey, I don't have to act like I'm the biggest tough guy in the world and this doesn't affect me. Like, I think that like a lot of players around the league see that, and we're going to get more authenticity out of players because of guys like you. But when do you think you felt comfortable enough to be like that to the press?
Well, it's hard because I was a 7th round pick. I was always kind of a fringe guy. So after my stint in Buffalo, which was years 5, 6, 7, 8, again, I just went out there and was kind of looking for a job. So toeing the company line, went to Tennessee, went to Houston. I think it was probably after the 2016 year with the Jets, which was just a miserable year for me and everybody involved. where I didn't know if I wanted to play football anymore. I think since that moment, since that season, I'm playing on borrowed time and know that I could just go out there and enjoy myself. And so that was probably a big turning point in my career, signing with Tampa in 17 and then the Dolphins in 19, and just being able to play free and, fully be myself.
Hey, by the way, I like that. As an older white, you're going down to Florida, Tampa, and Miami. Smart play. A lot of Harvard people do that, so I respect that a lot. Do you? And we talked about this. We're big Fitzmagic fans over here, as you've probably already been able to tell here. We talked about you. You've older quarterback, 16 years in the NFL. Never once, and I might be wrong, you could probably mistake, but never once has there been, at this team, we're building this around Fitzpatrick. You've always been the stopgap between situations, it felt like. But by the way, we know exactly what's going. He'll be able to come in here no matter what the roster is. He's going to win 8, 9, 10 games. This is what's going to happen. This is how Ryan Fitzpatrick. You've never been like in a place that's been like, okay, we're going to surround you with a hell of a team. It's always been like a team trying to catch up, basically. We can plug and place Fitz in there. Do you ever think about that? Or is that just fodder that guys like us have to kind of bullshit about?
Well, I think people could make the argument. I signed in 2009 to back up Trent Edwards in Buffalo, started 2010 as his backup, and then became the starter. They signed me to an extension in 2011. So people probably argue that 2012 season maybe was the first time in my career that I had that. But, since then, that's what it's been. And, for me, I enjoy playing. I don't enjoy sitting and watching. I enjoy playing. And so some of the jobs that are available are those stopgap, hey, we need somebody, to right the ship here and to get us going and to kind of show a rookie the right way to be a professional. And, I've really come to embrace those situations and embrace those roles. And I love it. The last 2 years in Miami maybe are the most rewarding years I've had as a professional in the league. And it's not necessarily about the wins and the losses now. As one of our favorite artists, Miley Cyrus, would say, it's about the climb.
Amen. Hey, amen. Amen, Ryan.
Amen. Hey, going back to your Harvard days. So you were at Harvard during the infancy of Facebook with old Zuck over there. I just wondered, did you get any equity, or maybe you're talking to the Winklevoss twins right now getting in on Bitcoin? I know they're big on that.
Yeah, so that whole deal, I think Zuckerberg was a year younger than me, but that whole thing was going on. It had started, the Facebook was just at Harvard for a little bit. And, I thought, boy, this is neat. I could see who, else is in my classes, and we could form study groups. And that was for me.
Of course.
So if they would have asked me to invest $100 in it, I would have told them they're crazy. No way. I'm saving that for beer money or whatever else I needed it for in college. And I was a little bit wrong about the future of that one.
Do you have any, obviously going to Harvard, and I have no idea how much time we were allowed to have with you, so we appreciate you spending time here. But going to Harvard, Zuck isn't the only person that created something huge at Harvard. Do you dabble in the business space or anything from your time or connections at Harvard, or are you mostly the outcast who chose to play football for 16 years and try to develop CTE as much as possible?
Yeah, I'm the one guy that decided not to use my degree to do anything. But at some point when I'm done playing, I'm going to ride the coattails of my roommates. I had a bunch of roommates that are doing lots of cool, crazy, successful stuff now. So I'll jump in on that. But a roommate of yours, AJ, one of my good buddies too, Nick Mangold. Now, I've heard some crazy stories about what was going on at Ohio State, and I don't know if we want to get into those, but stuff about alligators and all kinds of stuff.
What? You guys are selling drugs?
No. I was roommates with Nick for 4 years.
I don't know the slang.
Nick has only great things to say about you, but you said, like, hey, you start having fun. These are real rewarding years. I don't maybe I'm different, but I feel like whenever I've watched you play from the day you got into the league, like, you look like you're always having a great time, and everyone around you seems to have a great time.
Always.
Yeah, I think that's always been part of my game and my personality. I just think I've really embraced it the last few years. and maybe had a little bit more success. But part of it too is just so many of these guys now, these younger guys, a lot of it is about confidence. And for me to be the one to try to instill that in them and provide that for them is just something I really enjoy. Because, for me, a lot of my teammates now are closer in age to my kids than they are me. And that part of it is a little bit strange, but, it also keeps me young.
Yeah, but your drip is,
yeah,
you know what I mean? Way up there, dude. On the TikTok, like Dabo Swinney. What do you got, Connor?
Yeah, Fitzmagic. We just mentioned the Harvard, and Matt Stafford recently came out and said that he wanted to be traded to anywhere but New England. Allegedly. Do you hold that same opinion, or are you really just looking anywhere to go?
No, see, I'm not of the. I love Matt Stafford. I don't know him real well as a guy, but as a player, watching him. I'm really excited to see what happens with him on the Rams, but no, for me, I can't be as picky as Matt Stafford.
That's obviously one of the markets, right? The quarterback market. Do you have a list? Have you gone over it with your people? Do you have people? Do you handle these deals yourself?
No, I've got people, but it's that stuff. It doesn't really happen till March. So what I've learned over the years is not to sit and worry about it or put too much time into it until that March date rolls around.
Hey, you might be an Indianapolis Colt. We'll have you right in.
Yeah.
Hey, I don't know if you know, Colts are looking for a quarterback, pal. Same with Washington, Carolina, New England,
Come to New England, Fitz. We need
Denver. There's a lot. Hey, we can't wait to see where you go. And we know you'll be Super Bowling this Sunday at main event. We appreciate you, Ryan.
Beautiful. What a great plug. Grab this thing again.
Oh.
Yeah.
What is that, a 20-pounder, 18-pounder, 16?
I think it's 16 with no holes.
Oh, you got to go get the thing in there. Are you a good bowler?
My best score ever, I went 208 left-handed, and I've never touched it since then, but I broke my right hand, was at like a church cosmic bowling all-night deal, and somehow threw a 208.
I would hang it up then, too. I don't think I've ever got to 200. I'd assume that ball is on pace for 300 big ones, turkey after turkey after turkey. Can't wait to see where you end up. Thank you so much for joining us. The man who has the mind of a Harvard man. Do you mind us saying that, by the way? I think it's pretty accurate.
The heart of a plumber? I love that. Yeah. Thank you.
Ryan Fitzpatrick. He was awesome. Yeah. He's so cool, dude.
Yeah.
He could very much end up at the Patriots, at the Colts, at any of these spots.
Bears.
And with the film, potentially the fucking Bears. And with the film that he put out this past year, I mean, I think teams will be signing old Fitzmagic. There will be a real market for Ryan Fitzpatrick.
There absolutely should be a market. But, yeah, when you mention the Patriots, it makes so much sense to me for him to go to the Patriots. I think Bill Belichick would absolutely be in love with this dude's personality and his competitive fire and what he brings to the team. Like, remember when Cam went there, everyone's saying, oh, they're not going to mesh. They seem to love each other. It went well, and Fitzpatrick has a very, the personality to bring his teammates along with him. So I think that's something the Patriots would love.
And Connor's been pitching it very hard. He's like, you heard him mention it. He didn't follow up with it. He's like, he went to Harvard. He already loves the area, like this whole thing. Now, he's been in Florida for the past 3 years.
True.
So that could be different, but him in New England is scary, I think, for a lot of people, just because when the inevitability of the Fitzmagic starts to take place, and then you have the Ernie up in the sky and the Bill Belichick shit popping off.
Controlling the weather.
That's potentially a real fucking force.
Well, and him saying he has embraced that role of mentoring the rookie quarterbacks. I mean, it's perfect. I'm not saying I'd take Fitzmagic for the next 5 years if we could.
Wow. Hey, shout out to Candidates for sponsoring today's show, by the way. Go to candidatecbd.com/big game and enter in. They have a massive giveaway going on for this Sunday's big game. All you have to do is pick who's going to win. There it is. All you got to do is pick who's going to win. And then if you guess the final point total exactly or whatever, you also win some more. Shout out to Canada. Shout out to you, AJ. Am I going to see you in the arena again tonight?
I don't know if I'm going to play tonight or not. It depends. But going real quick, you popped up that little ad. And it got me thinking, does Rappaport know that you scroll Manscaped ad when he's on?
Doesn't matter. It's a nice little inside thing we got going here.
Perfect.
You know what I mean?
It's beautiful. I think it's great. I love it. I think you should do more. I think you should have that go by like 3 or 4 times during his interview.
I think we did. I think yesterday we did. I do believe it had a couple different pop-ins. But big thanks to Rappaport. Also, Ryan Fitzpatrick, awesome. Can't wait to chat with him again. Nate Burleson, Terrell Davis, a couple good phone calls. TJ Lang came in, cleared the air. We appreciate everybody. We'll be back manana with a big Wednesday, AJ.
Sounds good. I'll be there.
33,000 people watching right now. We'll give away $10,000 to those watching right now because this is a massive Super Bowl Tuesday. Yeah. Use the hashtag.
You have PMS bumpers already out there, so.
PMS bumpers. Hashtag PMS bumpers. Take a picture wherever you're watching from. Would like to learn a little bit. You're automatically entered into winning $10,000. We'll give that away by the end of the week. One of the boys will take care of that. We appreciate you so much. Hashtag PMS bumpers because we debuted new bumpers on the show today. And the fact that you're watching along, we can't thank you enough. There's other shit you could be doing. The fact that you're allowing us to spend some time with you every day, we appreciate the hell out of you. We'll be back manana. Hashtag PMS bumpers. $10,000 giveaway. We'll see you tomorrow. Big guest tomorrow.
Huge guest tomorrow.
Big guest tomorrow. We'll see you then. Cheers.